think we did more than bear picking. You weren't there for that first half of it. You shouldn't be recapping.
Right.
I can tell you what I know.
Okay, so who does want to recap? We're on the...
So we went to the Mr. Balin's estate. We had a little chat with him. We did a sweep of some of his staff to make sure none of them were spies. None of them were, at least as far as question wording went. We helped pick some fruit. Rurik was a public nuisance in a blacksmith's.
I was
Once
making
again.
troubles. I was helping. I just don't know how to
Got
speak
the
to them.
guards called on you?
I just don't know how to talk to them.
And then we finished by talking about where we're going to park the army, I think.
Well, yeah. There's chat about what's going to happen with the army. Going to be going for trees or...
Oh yeah, we're doing a
No,
scouting mission this time, aren't we?
Yeah, we're wind walking.
Yeah, so Rafa wasn't here last week, so you may want to fill in with greater detail the chat that was had.
Raffin has a spell that lets us turn into walking air, but it lets us fly super, super fast, which means we can basically do laps around scale in one day.
Why have we done this?
We're a
before?
Wintour.
This seems great.
Yeah, I was
No
about to say,
winter.
we've been walking like chumps this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could have fucking just.
Could have just gone.
I'm gonna look it up.
We could have just zipped across scale. We didn't have to have that. We can just skip over all the adventure.
We can do this forever from now on as well, as long as we remember. Rana, do you have the Windwalk spell?
I don't have it learned. I'll have a look. Hold on.
So while spells are being checked and things like that, I owe you guys a map of the capital. I've not forgotten. It's just that it's going to take me more than 1 week to do. So I'll probably, if we're going on break after this for a couple of weeks, I'll try and get it to you during that break. I don't imagine we'll get to a point today where you need to action anything that you would have revealed from the map. But you've got a map. Yeah, I think you're asking about sewers and stuff, right? Yeah. So
Secret passages.
Sorgar's not
I don't
here,
find one walk.
but he will know that the Christmas celebrations, the Kaldai celebrations, are held in Markex Plaza, and unless he breaks with tradition for some reason, that'll be where Valasar does his big address, and it's where all the great fires are and things like that. The tournament might be there. Sometimes it's held in other places. The specifics of the tournament vary every year. There are sewer exits in the bay, so the capital. There's a kind of a bay, the glass bay, which is kind of where sea trade comes in and out, and that's where the sewers also run out. So there are sewer exits there, but it is in and around the docks, so there is a reasonable quantity of foot traffic around there. But once you are in the sewers, you can get pretty much anywhere in the city. But you have to go through the sewers, which is not all that fun.
We've done that before. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we only
Yeah.
died once.
We can turn into wind.
Yeah. Or just go up through someone's pipes. Up their toilet.
I mean, if you guys can turn into wind, you don't have to go through the sewers. I mean, you
There's
can if you
visible
want.
wind. There's visible wind though.
There's visible
Does-
wind, that's true, actually, yeah. Good point.
You can't see visible wind when it's in the sewers.
Does
Is
the
that fart
wind-
moving?
Flawless.
If the wind passes through a gas, does the gas become part of the wind, Jake?
I think the gas gets dispersed.
It's dispersed. Okay, so you won't become a fart cloud if we go into the sewers then.
You probably bring a certain amount of it
will
with
become a
you,
part
just
of
the
you.
momentum of your...
Well, but then if that's bringing it with you and then you turn back to you, does that make you as a person percentage fart cloud?
No, it just makes you it just makes it sound like it smell as if you've just let a massive ripper go.
Oh,
Are you kind
someone
of
has just won.
in farts
Oh, has he arrived?
surrounding you?
Jake, congrats, you're a winner.
Wow.
Is he here?
No, it's not till he's here.
He's got a
Yeah,
point.
what are you talking about? He's not here yet.
Quite his dog.
It's anyone's game, Matt. Anyone's game.
What's the latest?
No,
Is
it's
he
either Niall or
arrived?
Jake's game.
Oh,
Yeah, it's either Niall or Jake's.
I mean, all things are
depending
possible
on
through
how long it
Jesus.
takes.
But I mean, I'm just gonna say that's what having faith in people goes to show, you know.
You haven't won yet, Jake.
But yeah, it's looking a lot like my race,
To
isn't
go
it?
old school to find this spell and dig out the book.
But the question is he gonna eat dinner first?
That's a good point.
Because he just went out for food.
I think
Never
half
mind.
nine is looking pretty strong.
Is that your guess? Half
Yeah.
nine?
That's right.
He has zero faith.
I have 100% faith in my guess.
Do I have anything else I need to tell you about? Yeah, no. If you have other questions about like the geography of the city, you know, I have some of it in my head, so I can answer them potentially. But otherwise, I can get that information. If you, it's usually if you're using maps to get answers to specific questions, it's probably faster just to ask me the questions and I can give you the answers and then give you the map as a follow up. So if there's any questions like that you have about the capital, send them to me, and I will answer them for you. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, there's sewer exits, slash entrances, in the bay. It is the sort of thing Clan Balin would be like managing. So
Oh, we should have got our papers as sewer workers. God damn.
Mm. Maybe we're like more
No,
server.
Get
Carpenters
sewer
of the
carpenters.
sewers.
Yeah. We make storm drains out of wood.
Absorb it. Drain.
Very dense wood. I think that's everything we have to go over.
The only question I have about the sewer
Jake.
system is
How do the circle spells work again?
you're not that kind of druid. You don't get circle spells.
That's what I thought, but does it? I can't use the spells at the circle.
No. If it's on, you go to the druid
Right.
spell list at the back of the book, and
Okay.
you can prepare all of those spells. But you'll have to wait until, well, technically you'd have to wait until tomorrow to prepare the spells, but you can probably just prepare it today if you take a certain amount of time. That's usually how we run it. What were you saying, Matt?
Yes,
the,
I do. I can use it.
the sewer system, is
Yeah.
there an entrance that goes, or is the entrance at, on a state or on whatever it's called in?
There's a sewer. There's like a manhole around about there, yeah.
Dragon hole.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it. Like scale hole. Drake hole?
A born hole?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a hole. You can get into the sewer there.
Alright. Okay.
It doesn't get you into the estate itself. It just gets you like right next to the estate.
So
That's
it
basically
doesn't
true
get
of
you, like,
everywhere.
within the walls?
No, because they're kind of like, well, that's a security risk. Like that's largely true of all the clans. Is like that. Like there's manhole covers, but they're on like streets, like regular main streets.
Right.
Like, you know, the stuff in their estate will link up to the sewer system. Like, you know, their plumbing and stuff well. But a person can't fit through those pipes and stuff.
Gas could.
But wind could. Can we emerge from their taps?
I'm really freaking
Yeah.
out.
Casper.
Off their clothes.
So yeah, that's the deal with the. Is he coming?
Oh, it's 29, Jay.
You showed me
Excuse me.
2 hours.
He's away again. Anyways. So. Is your plan to turn into wind and try and survey the island? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Collectible.
So I did some maths earlier. So if I pull you onto
Jacob,
the...
sorry to interrupt, you've officially lost.
What?
You've lost. It's at 7:30 now.
Oh, okay. That goes to show you what having faith
Still
in
in the
folk.
game, 24 minutes to go.
Game apart from cakes.
How do I
What was that?
activate?
Does anyone get Finn's phone number? I'm asking for a friend.
Yes.
Did that move you guys?
I
Have I
am,
moved yet?
I am on the map now.
Yeah.
Loading.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I think Foundry is lagging a bit. So if you zoom in on scale, right, down in the corner there, where it usually is. Oh yeah, you've arrived.
Hasn't moved.
Yeah, and it's still there. So one hex on that map, I'm just using these hexes because they're easier, is 24 miles across. Windwalk gives you a flying speed of between 35 and 70 miles per hour, roughly, based on whether you're dashing all the time. So those hexes are 24 miles across. They have an area of 374 square miles. So the total area of scale is just over 5,000 square miles. I don't know how that translates to, I don't know how your speed translates to how much area you can cover. I'm going to say that it maps 1-to-1, because that seems reasonable. So if you're searching for, actually
what were the
fully...
speeds again, Jake, sorry?
What?
What were the speeds again?
Between 35 and 70 miles an hour.
I was just trying to work out whether I'd be faster as an eagle, but I don't think so. 'Cause it says 80 feet.
No, you'll be significantly slower than you.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the way this is going to shake out is you have a choice. If you're wanting to scout out, kind of cover the whole island rather than fly around from rather than just go to different destinations, actually fully investigate each hex, then you have a choice. Windwalk lasts for 8 hours, so you can basically ask. I can show you the working if you want, but I don't know if you care. But basically, your choice is you can either fully explore one hex on your own within your Windwalk time, or you can half explore 2 hexes, right? So you can either cover the entire island and just get information on potential areas to move the army to, or you can cover half the island and get information on where to move the army to, and possibly some other questions that you could ask me and I would give you information on. If that makes sense. So you can go twice as far and get just the information you're looking for, you can go half as far and get some extra bonus information that you might be curious about. So it's up to you how you guys want to do that.
Right?
Hmm.
Half as far because we don't really need to deal with the bottom of the island.
Zarzan's also a ranger, so he can get that extra information either way. And if you go the slow route, he can get 2 hexes done, I think. I'm going to say.
We each do a hex anyway. There's 7 of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can cover 7 hexes.
Isn't there's chat about where all the drakes live, an area where like all the drakes are, right? So,
Cove of Drakes.
yeah, the Cove Drakes. I was wondering if maybe we could for Hrafen to go there, maybe just chat with them, see if they'd be down to letting us stay.
With the drakes.
Yeah.
Are they like? Is that like code for dragons?
No.
No, it's like smaller, less deadly
Yeah.
dragons.
They might like
It's
you.
like the
They
middle
might.
stage
They might like me
between
for dinner.
Dragonborn and dragons.
They might. I'm sure you'll be fine, though.
But it is pretty hard to commune as wind.
Do
Oh,
you
I
have
That's
to?
don't
the
know.
only issue with your plan there.
Do you have to stay as wind the entire time? Can you go back into being
Let me
wind
have a
after
look.
you disperse it?
It's a 6th level spell, so I wouldn't be able to cast it that many times. I don't think. Reverting takes 1 minute, during which time I'm incapacitated and can't move.
Dealt with the problem.
Oh, that's a lot of fire.
Just burn
But I can revert back and forth
Yeah.
for as long as the spell's on.
Okay, so as long as you convert somewhere that's safe, then you should be fine, right?
Yeah, it's just for a minute. So it
Just
takes
just
minutes a long time in Dungeons and Dragons.
short amount of time, 1 minute.
It is bomb to scale.
What do you want me to do with these Drake dudes? Have I got to go and beat them up or like menace them?
I was thinking chat with them, maybe see if they'd let us crash on the couch, you know?
Or make
Tell
friends?
them they're late
Yeah.
on rent.
Yeah, kick them out so we can move in.
Jake,
We're
Yes.
looking for some.
did you say this was 5,000 square miles?
Yes.
I knew
Because I
you
was
did.
that whole time I was just
That's
trying
a lot
to
of mails.
get a frame of reference, so I calculated the size of a circle on Scotland just to see how big it is.
All right.
I know now.
How does it shake out? I think it's roughly the size of Cyprus, or somewhere somewhere in that, or Sicily. I don't remember.
I'll take a wee screenshot of this.
Glasgow is 200 square miles for reference, the metropolitan area.
Yeah. Where's my button? What channel do you want this in?
Just put it in the
Off topic.
yeah, put it there.
Wait, where?
Bingo off topic.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
That's pretty big then.
No, it's the equivalent area of that.
Sure.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I had a look, and I think it maps roughly to about the same size as Argyll and Butte as a territory.
Hmm,
Titchy.
cool.
Yeah, it's not very big. It should probably be bigger, but okay.
But that's 1 hex on scale, right?
No, that's all the
This is the
scale.
entirety of scale.
Oh, that's the entire. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's not all that big.
Yeah, it's probably about the same area as Cyprus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit bigger.
That seems reasonable sized for an
Yeah.
island.
No Australia though, is it?
No.
Rinn is probably closer to Australia size, actually. Is that what the main line is called, Rinn? Or is that Rinn?
That's the world. It's the globe,
Oh.
It's cool.
which would be significantly
Anyway.
larger than Australia.
What is the size of... what's the name of the continent?
The continent you guys normally hang out on is Tilia,
Tilia, sorry.
which I
How
think
large?
is I think I worked out that it's roughly like I think it's roughly equivalent to like Europe as a continent. I might be wrong.
Cool.
Something like that. So yeah, it's up to you how you want to approach this. The other thing to note is that it's about like kind of mid-afternoon at this point, so by the time the spell ends, it'll be like late at night. It's up to you guys whether that factors into your plans or anything.
No. Good. Yeah. I would like to venture into the mountains. And...
Which ones? In fact, take a pen, everyone, and you can just put a dot in the hex you're gonna scout out, and you can decide that way.
Okay.
Where are these Drake dudes? Where are you wanting to go?
I don't know where they are. Jake?
They're in the north bit where it says the Cove of Drakes. That whole like little bay bit.
Oh, that whole bit.
Right, the Cove of the
Yeah.
Drake. You would think that would be obvious.
It's not letting me draw.
And then you draw.
Oh wait, was that me?
You selected the pencil within the pencil.
I selected the squiggly line within the pencil.
I tried the squiggly line, but it wouldn't let me.
Oh.
You have to like
Oh, never
hold
mind.
it down a lot when you do it.
Yep,
weird.
you're right. Got it.
Where's rubber?
I don't know if there is a rubber.
No rubber.
I think you have to use the little square lines and just select it and then delete it. I think,
Yep. You're right.
which isn't like super intuitive, but it is what it is.
There you go. Right there.
Then I guess Sorgar will probably cover a bit in between us all.
In fact,
Bit we were just in anyway.
Rurak will do 2 because doesn't have any specific questions. Just trying to find caves and flat land and trees.
But I think one of the areas you're searching is the area we're currently inhabiting. Is that to north or is that right?
Aren't we kind of close to Carantal on the mountains, like next to Carantal?
No, I mean the army is like around here
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Well,
somewhere, I think.
Am I turning you all into wind as well?
yes,
If possible.
that's all right.
I didn't know that it could do that.
Should say how many.
Go up to 10 willing creatures I see. Ooh. But do you have to be... Can we split up? Or do I have to be within sight of you?
If it doesn't specifically say, then I think you can split up.
Okay. Just don't get lost, because I suppose we'd wear off in 8 hours, wouldn't it?
Does anyone have like specific questions they want to ask in areas? And if not, go for 2, I guess.
I guess, is there any major military things in the hex that we should know about? Or
If you want to
threats, I guess?
scout out certain strongholds, could be cool. No? I just don't know what strongholds are the ones to know about. I think Matt would be able to answer that for you. He seems to be away.
He's gone. He's away.
He's not here. Not here.
He has left us.
I only
We have been
see
abandoned.
really dark white noise.
Zarzan, remember you get 2 as well, because you're a ranger. So you're just like shit hot at it.
They have to be next to each other. Well, I guess I could take this one. We were assuming.
Oh, hello.
Fit.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Did I win?
Oh, 743, so close.
Wait, hang on. Actually, you're wrong. Matt wins.
Matt wins?
What did you
It's
choose?
closer, 52.
No.
No.
It's close.
Price is Right rules.
We never agreed upon that.
What's the price
Of course.
right?
My
It's
time
below
is
going
closer.
up. When it's multiple people, of course it's below going up.
Wait, Izzy, weren't you like 45?
No, it's the hour next.
8:45. I'm within 10. You're
Yes,
14.
but you were over. You were incorrect. You've hit bust.
Also, Matt had an unfair advantage.
Did
I think we should veto Matt's vote.
How did I have an unfair advantage?
Because you'd be able to hear when I was coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I already placed the guess like 40 minutes ago.
I could have already been in.
I couldn't wait until you were coming in and be like, I predict now.
I could have done that.
Finn, we're choosing places we want to explore on scale as flying wind. You wanna choose yourself some hexes?
Hold on, I've not opened.
Or a
Right.
singular
Foundry,
hex.
yeah.
You can either explore 1 and do like a proper search, or explore 2 and do like a half search.
Hold on, I'm going to.
Does that mean I can explore 4 as half searches?
Yeah, fuck it, yeah.
Nice.
Is that worth it, lads?
SARS is just zipping.
I don't know. Wait, and you said it doesn't matter if Zazen does a half search, he still can get the questions because he's a ranger, right?
So, that was before. So, you can. Basically, it takes you half as long to do things as everyone else, right? So, if everyone else gets 1 hex and 1 question, or 1 hex plus information, then you can do 2 hexes plus information, or. Yeah, you can do 2 hexes plus information, or. If everyone else takes 2 hexes with no information, you can do 4 hexes with information. Basically.
Foundry's being weird for me.
Yeah, it's a little
It keeps going all glitchy on the screen.
it's a little weird today.
Of gamers online.
A bit fucky.
I can't really use it in a way.
I'll restart the server in a minute. I'm just fixing the stream.
Okay. Yeah, it's like got mad like green glitchy lines on it. I can't. Don't know why. No other sites are doing that. So, don't know why it's doing that.
Okay, and yeah, I'll just I'll shut it down and restart it.
Okay. Uh-oh, a problem.
Ruh-roh.
Should be back up now, so you can hopefully reload in a minute.
I'll just go in here, rejoin. Oh, it's still doing it.
That's weird. I'm not really sure why that's happening.
It might just be my computer. I'll try using a different browser. Sometimes my Chrome is weird, so I'll try using a different one.
Could be. Could be.
That's you.
Thanks.
Okay. So have people picked hexes? We're waiting for Finn to pick a hex, aren't we?
Sorry.
I wonder where Matt's hex is. You know, you gotta select that and delete it all now. You can't just do the outside one.
Why is it not letting me join?
Oh, how do you do that?
You click on it and then you click in the corner to make it bigger or small.
Won't let me click join.
One that you click join.
I'm going to explore my own island.
Yeah, you know, like you click your name and then you click join session.
Uh-huh.
It's not letting me click that. Don't know why.
Have you tried reloading?
Yes, I've refreshed twice.
Oh. That's weird. Has someone logged in as Finn? Someone stolen Finn?
No, it lets me pick my name, but then it doesn't let me pick me.
Huh.
That's quite odd.
Back to Chrome, I guess. Why is it doing that?
We could just assign them for you if you want. Sorry, I mean, if you haven't to get anyway.
Turn off the weather in case it's that.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, no, that's probably because me. I was gonna say I don't see you as an option, Finn, but it's grayed out. That's probably because it's me. Trying.
It shouldn't matter. So maybe suggest there's something funky going on. Wonder if I can. Is there a kick command possibly?
Just
Kick him?
Just someone pick for me. Someone pick for me while I sort this out.
Do you want to explore mountains or seaside resort open plains?
Let's go mountains.
Are we picking 2 squares?
Maybe. Your thing to talk to the drakes might take some time. I don't know.
So I'll just pick one then from the drakes.
Sure. Yeah.
And what's my goal here? We were wanting us to make friends with the drakes.
It just as a long shot, just seeing like if the drakes will let us stay and let our army stay.
Oh, okay.
There's already a military living with the drakes, right?
Is there? Oh, I didn't know that.
Keldrath are the Drake riders.
Oh, they actually live there?
Uh-oh.
We could convince them to turn on Keldrath. That
They
could be
don't.
fun.
Well, if you
apparently
tell the drakes they'll be free and that they'll have no masters.
What? You can't come in and just mess up our civilization.
Isn't that what you're doing?
Oh, mushroom eating dick.
We need a place to crash.
Are the drakes slaves? Free the drakes, man.
Like that. Free the drakes.
Or at least
Free
get
the
the
drakes.
Keldreth people. That could be, you know.
Is Zorgar going to the O? Because I think we've been to the O already.
You have
Right.
not been to the.
Have we not? Have we not?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't know
No.
where he's going, mate.
I don't know.
We went around the
Patrick,
mountains,
the
didn't
area,
Have we gone there?
Yeah.
Oh, let's get
all
that
the
going.
areas you've suggested to search are the ones we've already looked through.
Oh, okay.
Well, you've walked through them. You've not combed through and
Search
searched the
them
entirety.
fully, Sure.
Is this good, or do you want the south of the island?
We want more of the east of the island, I think, but we've already kind of covered the east.
What do you mean more of the east? The entirety of the east is taken up.
Mate, you take this
That's what
little
I
bit
said.
right here.
this little bit right there. This bit here,
Or this little bit.
or this
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. Sorry, let
How many
me.
coasts can you cover?
One
many-
I was just going to be
Coast
generous
thoroughly
and
cover.
like roll the coast into their nearest hex.
Ooh.
That'd be very
Okay.
nice of you, Jake.
I'll take that.
Yeah, dickhead.
You can get this coast
Take a dickhead.
because two people are scouting out that bit, and Zarzan will be able to get that coast. This coast is kind of bordered by two. So if it's a coast bordered by two people, two hexes are being searched, you can have it for free.
Cool. That's nice.
Oh, so also this one.
Yeah, you can have that one. Yeah. That is right next to the capital, so you're not like necessarily going to find.
We can have all of this because of that rule. All that coastline is explored for free.
That's half the island. That's half the coast.
Basically, we're just exploring the upper half, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
seems so. Is there
Around
no point in exploring the
Carantal.
lower half?
No, there's a point. It's just less around our objective.
Well, our objective is
Do we-
to get the troops safe, and we can
Question.
teleport them anywhere.
Do we know where Keldreth live?
Yeah. So if you may wish to cross-reference this map with the more detailed scale map, which has all the tactical locations and stuff on it, or you can just pull up the handout.
Trying to handouts. Here we go. Scale handout.
It's
There you
also
go.
just one of the places.
It's one of the places.
On the top row,
Like
there's one
continent
that's
map,
called
drawing
scale.
cards. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay.
And on that one, you can see where the party is.
I don't think I'm going to be able to use Foundry. It's been really weird.
So it's just not letting you
I sent you a picture, Jake, of what it's
see the
doing
picture
on Messenger.
on Messenger. Let's have a look.
Yeah, you see all them trees? They look pretty good. By Ormonth, on the other side of the mountains at Ormonth. That forest looks pretty good. South of the Ormonth Pass. Also, the teeth. That kind of looks like you could hide a ship in there. I imagine it's probably like, Shipwreck Cove, but
Yeah.
I bet you could.
That's why when we entered Scale, we went over the north of the islands, because going via the south was very dangerous.
Well, yeah. That's why no one goes there.
Oh, that's mega weird.
And that's where you go when you're trying to hide.
Yeah.
Are you still in?
No.
Okay. It might just be that map that's causing issues. So if you're able to rejoin, I can try and punt you into a different thing. See if that fixes it.
I'm downloading another browser. We'll
Okay.
try on that and then.
Because that's bizarre.
Yeah, it's only doing it for that website as well. It's not
Yeah.
doing it for all websites.
Is anyone else using Chrome and having problems?
I'm
I've
using
had Chrome
Chrome,
do
no
that to me
problem.
before. Chrome's
The
done it
pattern is
before,
super
but-
weird.
Yeah, it's strange. Because I thought it was my monitor being weird,
Uh-huh.
but it's not doing that with anything else. So
Okay.
I'm using Firefox.
So has Zorgar got a hex? Has he been assigned one?
Yes, he is the O.
He is the O. Okay. Does that mean everyone's got hexes? Is everyone happy with where they're going?
I'm gonna change mine. Oh, I didn't mean to drop. I'm sorry. Oh, I know. Oh no. Okay, I'm going. I'm going Ormond.
Okay.
I think someone should explore this hex because there's a forest there. I cannot unless I move both my explorers down there.
Where?
If you move.
The arrow, the blue arrow.
I can do it. It's just really far away from the other one that I'm doing.
Yeah. It's doing it on Firefox as well, so it's my computer.
We can maybe have
Restart.
Zorgar do both.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm going to restart it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a bigger fan of the full searches, but I can just move Zorgar to there.
That could be good.
I feel like this was a good one to have.
Apparently, that's an important pass. So I should probably
Important pass. Okay.
should probably keep him there.
I could windmill on mine then, but
I think the one bottom right of that also was good to have.
was there? I'm getting rid of this. Right, zero. I could move one of mine there. No, if you want to keep, or I can do this pass if you want. It really depends. Like, do you want the pass to be super explored, or do you want this bit with the forest to be super explored?
Well, the
So
thing.
how are you going to get in there, Patrick?
Well, I'm
Through
just.
the pass.
Where do you want Zorgar? Do you want the Zorgar on the pass or on the mountains with the forest? Because he's super exploring. I'm only sort of exploring.
Well, if you're only sort of exploring, then you shouldn't be doing the forest.
Okay, so I should do the pass then.
Because the pass is highly trafficked anyway, so we're probably not going to want to put the troops there. Because is that not the pass that connects the two giant cities?
It is.
Yeah, so...
Have you guys read my handout?
Right. I guess that's the two I'm doing then. Unless I
Should...
can.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was about to say, should I scout out the other big city just to see what's there? Because apparently you've got relatives there, according to the handout.
Probably would be good to know some
Got
stuff about
relatives
it.
everywhere. Sure, yeah, why not? No, well, you're still wanting this one explored. The this.
I just feel like it might be good, you know, because elsewise we have no idea what's here, and like this could be useful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How useful is this? Jake, is this
Just
where
in
the army
case.
is, or is this where the army is?
Your army is here.
Oh, well, no, we don't need that then.
Yeah, right over Rurak's mark.
So I had this marked before. How's that?
I mean, isn't that just mountain?
Well, yeah. I'm exploring mountain.
There's
Rurak
a
knows
nice
mountain,
wee
he's trying
thing
to
right
find
next
caves.
to where you're already searching.
Do you want me to go with that open land? Okay. Yeah, sure.
I think we're good now. I think it's
Yeah.
To throw another wrench,
You bet.
I could split mine up
Yeah.
and do half searches
I think it
before
works
them,
now.
if that's beneficial.
If there's
Oh, no.
squares that aren't explored and we'd like to explore,
I mean, I feel like we've covered these three, sort of. We haven't fully counted them, but we've been through these three, which only really leaves this one. I don't know. I'm more a fan of the smaller, more cone searches.
just gonna get an idea of how much coastline we're covering. Hang on. So that, all of that, all of that, all of that, all of that. Is that how much coastline we're covering? And for Athens. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
It's pretty decent.
What about Sora?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
Does Sora turn to gas?
But she can.
All right.
So. Does
Sora,
Sora get an input, or do we pick
Sora.
for Sora?
You probably just pick for Sora. There's going to be a roll from each of you to determine how good your scouting goes. So you can either
Oh, boy.
send Sora on her own, or she can come with you, and that would give you advantage on someone's roll. It's kind of up to you guys.
Is anybody not particularly good at finding things?
What
What
role is
specific
it?
role?
It's going to be survival.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm okay at survival, but
I remember.
Are investigating things.
Investigation is more for like finding clues and things like that, whereas survival is more for like finding like places to camp and things like that, and be good for sizing up like the tactical dangers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, so wait, hold on. Should I go somewhere else? Because obviously you can't park anywhere near the other city either. Or just see if I can mosey up some, listening some windows, kind of sneaking about kind of thing. Which is more helpful. I don't know, because we already got a lot of people looking for a place to dump the army.
I think it's more than just a place to dump the army, though, like just scouting out the islands and finding out the key locations. Because my scouts have only really covered this section.
Okay.
And
So,
slightly into here.
yay or nay in going to Ormond then?
Go to
That's
Ormond.
okay to it, yeah.
It's just like it's your call whether you demist or not. If you do demist, you need at least a minute of like total safeness so that you can walk around. But then you're walking around as Marish Muir. So a bit risky.
Okay, so no, I meant like just like float around near some windows,
Yeah, sure.
kind of thing, rather than trying to find a cave.
Just gather all the
Would it
intel you
be-
can in 8 hours as a cloud.
Just to have this little cloud, don't mind me.
Would it be alright to have Sora assist me in Karen Call?
Sure. So you're going into the capital.
She knows the city.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Around that entire hex, but yeah, I'm going into the capital.
Okay.
The part of the capital that's in that hex.
Sure. All right.
Where are we? Which hex are we in right now?
You are.
Black one, Niles one.
Yeah, you're kind of on that border between Zarzan's one and Nairn's one, sort of.
Would we like to meet up here? Would we like to meet up somewhere else at the end of our 8 hours? It's 8 hours. Oh,
Has to be somewhere we know.
Yeah.
Should we go back to the army at that point?
probably. I would think so.
Because at that
Can
point
we
we'd
make it
hope
all the way back there, though?
Yeah, definitely. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we're fucking speedy as fuck anyway. We might as well.
Cool.
We'll be able to just.
It'll take you
press
about an
things for
hour.
The next thing, go over.
Okay. So we have 7 hours of investigating, and then 1 hour of got to get back to the army. Does everyone have standing stones on them?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
If you got your phone with you, you want to make sure you're safe.
Everyone got packed lunches?
Everybody gets lost, meet up by the big mountain, okay?
You better be back before the streetlights come on.
Stranger.
It'll get cold.
Don't get anyone's white caravans.
Unmarked white caravan.
Unmarked. No windows. White caravans. I'm good. I'm good to go. How about you guys?
Pretty good.
All right. Give us all a survival check then.
Does being a natural explorer aid me in any way?
Yeah, you can. What's your natural explorer do?
It's the big thing that gives me ignore difficult terrain, advantage on initiative, advantage during combat, something.
You can probably have advantage on your roll.
And then a whole bunch of other actual movie shit.
Is a survival check a wisdom check, Jake?
It is a wisdom
end-
check.
Yes, it is.
Can I cast enhance ability on myself? for
Certainly.
That. Cool.
Can
I also ask?
Sorry.
Do I get to roll Sora's advantage before I decide if I want to use my lucky, or just
Yeah, no,
decide if I want to
you
use my
get
lucky
to,
now?
yeah.
Can I roll something other than survival if I'm doing sneaking about a city instead of?
Yeah, if you don't want to get any information on moving the army, you can go probably investigation or perception.
And I'll give myself +6 because why not?
2 11s. All right. Well, 16 it is. Ooh. Whoa.
Oh, and that's +6 as well, so that's 37.
37. Okay.
What are you doing again? What were you investigating?
Trying to see sneaky shit around the scene. You know, listening for clues.
You're gonna be up in everyone's business.
Yeah.
Whole city.
He's cheating with her, and that'd be popping. Very nice.
Write a newsletter that just reveals everything. Have everything in the city.
Okay. Let's have a look here. So, Sorgar got a 6. Lida got a 9. Naren got a, what was your total, Naren?
20.
20. Naren got a 20.
7.
Raffen got a 15. Zarzan got a 16. Rurak got a 16. And Muir got a 37. Right, okay. Let me have a look here. So... So, with a 6 Zorgar, you're not likely to find much, unfortunately. Whether it's just by ineptitude, or just bad luck, or just the vagaries of geography, you have a look around in that hex, you turn into, Raffen starts chanting, and you'll assume this kind of misty cloud shape, and you start zooming about. And you fly off in different directions, and Zorgar heads southeast, southwest, sorry, where you guys currently are, and has a poke around in there. Lovely scenery, lots of nice trees, big, beautiful mountain vistas. Just unfortunately, everyone else also thinks they're big, beautiful mountain vistas, and you see a lot of, sightseers and hikers and tourists and things like that going around. There's some logging camps in the area. And you don't find anything that you think will be suitable for the army. Like, you find a cave entrance in there, but it seems relatively well trafficked. You can see like some pickaxes and stuff like that in there. It looks like it's used for stuff. It could probably fit the army in it, but it's fairly obvious. Lida got a 9 up there. Is there anything else you're doing in that hex, or anything else you're looking for? Because you're only searching one hex.
No, not really.
Okay. You have a lovely day, beautiful scenery.
Make a day of it.
Yeah, there's some people. You check out the coastline. There's some people fishing down there. Catching big, beautiful bass. Maybe a bit distracting, 8 hours, they just fly by. And you don't really find anything of particular interest. Scales, natural heritage.
Scale.
Lida has a 9 up there. So in that hex, you don't find... With a 9, you don't find anywhere obvious to take the army to, Lida. There is, you find a cave, but it's, it totally looks down on the Keldrath army headquarters that is in that hex. So you can see all their military encampments and stuff like that. This big freaking castle. It's got like these kind of glass shingles on the roof. You do find a place that would look like it could support an army, but it is quite. It like it would be. I mean, it's on like a hillside, and Keld Rock, the military stronghold, is like down here. So like you can see down on it, which is quite nice. But they can probably also see up and see what's going on up there. So it makes it somewhat less appealing. So it would be a bold strategy, but it is a possible strategy. Naren, are you doing anything? You doing anything else in that hex, Lydia? Because you're just checking one.
Would I be able to do like an investigation check on just like the surrounding, like military bits? I guess. Like I don't really know what per se, but I feel like looking into the military bit is like, yeah.
Sure. Okay. Give us an
not anywhere check. Like that. I'm gonna be like super noticeable or anything. Yeah. Just like sort of any good positions to see what the heck they're doing or something.
Okay. Yeah. Give us an investigation check.
Investigation. 24.
24. The 24. Yeah, so you head down there and size up the military. You can see they're mobilizing for something, it looks like. There's a bunch of different like there's the central castle and there's all these other encampments. They all have different flags, and you can see that they correspond to different legions of scale. They're like different kind of like sub bases. And you can see the 4th Legion appears to be kind of packing their stuff up and moving somewhere. It's difficult to say where, and over the course of your investigation, they don't actually leave or anything, but they're certainly in the process of moving something somewhere. You can see they have a number of drakes here. There's they have like these kind of areas for like taming them and stuff like that. And while you're having a look around, there's like a wagon rolls in from the west that has a drake captive in the back of it, kind of like thrashing about and snapping at people. With a 24, there's also a point where you see a dude you recognize come out of the castle and like head with an entourage to this 4th Legion camp. He's wearing this big like red glass armor, and he has these big curling horns. He's missing one eye, and you recognize him from the clan meeting scene. And he kind of comes down and he's inspecting the troops, and he starts talking to, looks like the captain, but in Draconic.
I can't cast spells when I'm in thingy form, can I?
I don't think so.
Dang.
So they have a discussion. It doesn't last very long. It's like a couple minutes. And he kind of strides around. He wears a cloak, like a cape that kind of goes behind him. It's very dramatic. Big sword. And he goes and sort of inspects the troops, and then just kind of heads back to the castle. But you recognize that dude from the scene, the cerulean kind of freeze frame to onto.
So I'm assuming he's the like clan leader of the military clan that I can't remember the name of right now. Keldrath. Mr. Keldrath. Or Mrs. I don't really know. It's hard for me to tell.
Yeah. So that is probably, unless there's anything specifically you're looking for, that's probably about as much as you kind of find out in that hex over the course of your adventure. Who was next? Naren got a 20 to explore that bit. It's kind of difficult to see the boundaries of that hex now.
Sorry.
I'm
trying to move. Oh, I created a new one.
Sure.
I can probably get rid of my my coast one as well.
And the coast one's fine. It's just the hex boundary. Yeah.
Oh.
And can I measure it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Sure, you got what, a 20?
20.
So you find, because you also get the coastline, you explore and you notice you find a sea cave that looks
Sea cave?
reasonably promising. The geography of it means that it looks like the only way to actually get in there is via boat. And because you're a smuggler, you also notice that there are some telltale signs of smugglers being active in this cave, but you're not sure from how long ago. The only problem is that because it can only be accessed by sea, there is no trees or anything in here with which to Daisy Highway, which I believe was one of the things you were looking for. But other than that, looks pretty promising.
Is there a tree? How far is the nearest tree on the coastline?
Well, there's not really any trees on the beach. So there's like this kind of, you'd have to go like so there's like this, there's cave mouth, there's kind of coast around the sides, but there's no walkway, there's no path from this cave to any of the land really. Like it literally has to be, you have to kind of sail, you'd have to sail the boat in a little bit, and then there's this kind of cave system that opens up. So there's trees like kind of above, but it would be kind of difficult. You'd have to kind of get down a sheer cliff, which is not impossible. But also because of the proximity to the capital, people might notice a bunch of people climbing down a sheer cliff. Because there are people like nearby-ish, but not anywhere there's no one is in this cave having a look around, or looks like they'd be particularly likely to be able to do that. It's just that it would be a problem if you were trying to Daisy Highway in and out. And you're having a look around the capital as well, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Are you looking for anything specific in the capital?
Maybe key people and key locations.
Key people and key locations.
Or anyone of note.
Well, I mean, so if you're having a look around having a poke around, if you stay around like as a city, so like if you go like super down too low, people will notice that there's this cloud of fucking moving shit that's just like flying about.
Gas cloud of shit.
So you can get like a total bird's eye view of the city, and you can see that your map, like something from memory, you can't refer to your map while you're a cloud, but you can see that the map lines up pretty well. You can see where Mark X Plaza is. You can see where the palace is. It's kind of palace is kind of like here-ish. So like kind of like sort of southeast of the city. The plaza is fairly central. Go on. You can see, having a poke around, you can see where like some of the districts are. You can see where like the Clan Narad places. It's like all up and hip and fancy. It's like what's the best? No, I guess it's like Chelsea in London, or like Jordan Hill. Like it's pretty well-to-do area. You can see where the Clan Oran place is. It's just this big estate. You can see I think who else says? I think Rakesh have a base here. You can see that, and it's like massive. It has all these big warehouses and stuff like that. You can pick this stuff out all fairly easily. Who else is in the city? You can see the Clan Luminar base. It's a big glass building with the Clan Luminar sigil like wrought in this mad like brilliant like silver metal kind of on the front of it. It's kind of like almost like a massive church kind of shape, like very very big and vertical. It has this big logo in the front. If you want to go in and try and like track down like actual people, you can do that, but it will probably attract attention because there'll be this cloud floating around. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Does Sora have any way of note that she'd like to take a look at?
I mean, she can't really talk to you because she's a cloud, and you're a cloud.
Of course.
Yeah.
You find over the course of your like investigation thing that even though you can't speak to each other, you manage to do a pretty good job of like you're still pretty in sync with like she's like you kind of you manage to get kind of a system going almost subconsciously, so you can kind of intuit stuff from each other, but not enough to be able to pose like complex questions and go and have complex answers.
Sure. So this is because I'm searching one area, I get to do one thorough bit, right?
Yeah.
Can I instead use it to check out that cave more?
Sure. I mean, you kind of get the cave for free. What do you want to know about the cave?
Are we talking like big enough for a tall ship?
It's big enough for your ship.
Yes.
It's kind of like a Goonies
So
cave,
I've
actually.
been
Yeah.
searching for all this time. Yes.
So like it's like people probably know that it exists, but it's not like people can get to it really. Like Suros could get to it. So you'd imagine that it's been checked out and stuff. But
Aaron has smuggled to Scale before, right?
Yeah.
But he only ever just goes to the dock in the city.
It's probably more like you have like deals in like there's people like it's more like they meet you out of the way and you kind of have a handoff like or be offshore or something like that.
Okay.
Is there any like caves, small caves, that the smugglers used when they got in the big cave? Is there any smaller caves at the back of the big cave, basically, that lead to like the surface?
None that lead to the surface. No, there's like a kind of a network. Like it could definitely is big enough to support like your army at its current size and stuff like that.
But it's like the only entrance is the
only
big
entrance
one.
is by boat. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So then Naren as a smuggler would probably go, well, this is probably the sort of thing where you'd sail in, drop some stuff off, and then someone would come by the next day and pick it up in like a rowboat or whatever. And that's kind of how you do it.
Okay. I don't suppose they began preparations for the holidays yet?
Only very, very vaguely. It's like 4 weeks away. So they're like,
Christmas shopping.
It's like people like you can see people are kind of aware of it. Like if you're floating over the city, you can probably hear like merchants and stuff like that mentioning that it's coming up. Get your presents now. But that's kind of the extent of it. You can see there's some stuff happening in the plaza. Like they're kind of looks like they're clearing something away, probably in preparation for all the mad stuff that goes on down there. There's some scaffolding being erected and things like that. That's about the extent of it, as far as you can see.
How tall is the palace?
How tall is the palace? Pretty tall. It definitely is the biggest.
Would
it be feasible to?
Be feasible for a cloud to not be that out of place at that height?
Oh yeah, like it's just if you're down at people level. Like if you're trying to like sneak in and overhear a conversation, people are being like,
yeah,
it's a fucking clown thing. What the fuck? If you're just like floating around, like
Can I float around outside the palace near kind of windows and stuff and see if I can hear anything?
Sure. Yeah, give us a perception check.
Like not right in front of the window. Like there's
kinda
a cloud at that window.
yeah.
Like right there. Yeah. Did you say perception?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Ooh.
21. Yeah, you pick up on a couple of conversations. You hear some servants just like chatting, just like stuff like, they're kind of bad mouthing Valentine, like, I'm gonna have eggs for his lordship, yeah, what's he want this time? I don't know, I'll have to go and find out. And, there's kind of just sort of like standard, kitchen chatter. With a 21, you hear some other, they sound like slightly more kind of well-to-do accented people. You can't see who they belong to, obviously, without kind of exposing yourself as a cloud at the window. But you can hear, you overhear a conversation between two people. They're kind of like passing by, and like, yeah, I understand the 8th are going to be taking care of that one. Like, yeah, well, it's about time, you know. I hear he's a bit concerned. Yeah, well, I mean, wouldn't you be? I mean, and then it kind of fades into like they close the door or something, and you kind of miss out on it. Is there anything else you hear? I mean, like, the palace is made of glass, so it's kind of all one big window in a lot of respects. But there are areas where, so like, you know, you can pass over like the main, you pass over like the throne room. You can see, actually, you can see for the first time your brother is hanging out there on the throne, just sitting there. You know, he's talking to someone.
Just hanging out.
Just
You know,
sit
it's
on
this
his
big-
fucking throne.
Big glass throne. You know, it's kind of
Yeah,
it's sort of like
Dracula's.
the it's kind of like the, you know, the throne in Arthur and the Invisibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that,
Yeah.
but it's like transparent.
Okay.
And he's, you know, he's sitting there. He's like, he's in conversation with someone, but you can only kind of see what's happening. Like the kind of the glass is too thick to actually be able to hear any sound. You can see them like in discussion. This guy is the guy he's talking to. Has green scales and is dressed like kind of.
Vexia like.
He's dressed
Fine.
Vexier, like, yeah. He's kind of, you can see he's got like a bandolier on with like a knife in it, and you know, they're talking to one another, and you know, you can see Balazar's nodding. He's got, you've never seen him before, so he's got like black scales, he's got little nubbins for horns, and he's wearing this big gilded black glass armor. There's like a sword that's propped up against the throne, kind of like dramatically. And you know, they're talking to one another, and you see Valasar at one point is like reading something that this guy hands him, and he kind of folds up and he continues talking, and then the green guy like bows and then turns to leave. You can also see kind of, it's the way the glass is, it's kind of transparent, difficult to make out their like distinguishing features, but you can see all of the, or certainly some number of the bodyguard dudes. The 10 claws are in there as well. You can see a red one, a green one, and a blue one. From your perspective, kind of they're just like posted against the wall. And you see, no, you wouldn't see the last one. Yeah, you just see those three. Kind of posted as guards, like they opened the door to the throne room and let this green dude out, and then shut it again. But otherwise, yeah, he's just kind of sitting on his throne. And you see, kind of after the green guy left, he kind of like strokes his chin a bit, and he's like, it looks like he's deep in thought.
Much to consider.
And the window cleaning people must be making bank.
Castle cleaning.
But yeah, otherwise that's probably all the kind of notable stuff you make out, really.
Okay.
So who was after Naren? Hraffen with a 15. So Hraffen was checking out that hex there. So Hraffen, you find you can see there's a cave in the mountains, kind of to the east of your hex, that looks like it would be probably suitable for purposes of army storage, if it wasn't like kind of like directly above this big army encampment where you can see it looks like they're kind of capturing and taming these drakes, these big. They're not like dragon-sized. There's like kind of between the Bingo the Wyvern and the dragons you guys have fought in terms of size and ferocity. But you, if you're kind of exploring that hex, you know, most of the flat area is pretty clear of drakes. But you can see there's some caves in the mountains that you're kind of checking out, and then there's a drake in there, or a couple in the sort of looks like a nest environment. There's some eggs and things like that that they have.
Okay.
But that is about all the notable things you find in that hex, unless there's anything you want to do with them.
You guys want me to talk to the drakes?
Just an idea. Seen.
But I'm slightly confused about because it sounded like they already have an army that's using them.
Yeah,
But
I didn't realize that.
like, I'm all for freeing the drakes.
Liberate them.
How they're carting the drakes out, right? Is there like one route that's doing that? We pull a Mad Max and just block it off.
Drakes can fly, you know.
Carts can't.
Yeah, there'll be a point, Raffin, probably where you see, like, very early on, you see this cart leaving this encampment, kind of taking a path through the mountains and down towards the other side. That has what looks like a drake in the back of it as well. That seems to have left from this kind of central encampment they have here.
I'm trying to think. I couldn't speak to the drake when I'm in wind form, could I?
No.
No, and I can't turn back into Raffin form. On
Oh, you
that
can?
Cart with the drake.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, but who's on the front of the cart?
There's just a soldier, a couple soldiers.
Turn into a bird.
Are you an air elemental or are you just?
Yeah, the
just
only thing is I would have to come out of the spell and bin the spell altogether, which would mean all of you guys would be off of your spell.
Do you bin the spell though? Because I thought you can just
If
drop it.
If I'm going, yeah, I can drop it and pick it back up again. But can I drop it, shift form, and then shift back and pick it back up again?
Is it a
That's good
concentration
question.
spell or is it a spell that lasts its duration?
I think it's just. I think it just lasts the duration. I think you can technically do that. If I was being mean, there's an argument to say you can't because you kind of became a different creature for a bit. But I think it's probably fine.
And it was. Oh, I can speak with animals, can't I? I could use my ring. Yeah, Jake, I'll do that. I'll go and turn into something unobtrusive and try and get the Drake's attention in the back and explain that, or just find out whether they would be, if another army was to come, would they help us if we were to free them from the people they're with? Something like that.
Sure. Okay. So what do you turn into?
Oh, I'm trying to think of something that wee enough so that the guards won't notice me, but not wee enough that I won't get eaten. Because that would be bad.
You could take out the guards. Free the drake. Maybe.
I could do that. The only things I'm just concerned about I take it this army that's with them, we're not trying to be pals with.
No.
Could I do that, Jake? Could I sort of sweep down, bash their heads together, and knock them out? Or do I have to fight them both?
Well, so you can't bash them together as a cloud. So you have to turn into something that can bash them together first.
Oh yeah, but that takes a minute as
Yeah.
well.
So like if you turned into Raffin form on the cart, they'd have a minute of, oh, there's that cloud there. Let's just turn into a fucking elf man. That's fucking. Well, he's not doing anything.
Yeah, that's true.
There's only there'd be a window for that.
So I'm quite up for freeing the Drake. I'm just trying to figure how I could do it.
Just.
Could I turn into? Could I turn into from? I'm just thinking. I wonder if I could turn from air to an air elemental and then batter them. But then I'd have to turn out of that to talk to the Drake. Are we planning and doing much else today?
perhaps.
I'm just wondering, like, because that's quite. I'm just sort of watching the spells and changes, because that would be the fastest way to take them out. I quite like this idea of freeing the Drake.
The only potential plans we had for the rest of today would maybe to start teleporting the army.
Okay. Jake.
Yes.
I'm trying to think what I could turn into. Would that be all right? Would I, could I go sort of plot the route ahead of where the cart is going and find somewhere to sort of come down, and then I'll turn into, I don't know what I'll turn into a big bear actually, and summon my bears, and then attack the two dudes.
Sure. Yeah. We want.
Is there a good ambush point?
What did you get on your thing? Yeah, you can. You're a druid. You can probably find one. There's a bit where there's like some, there's like a kind of a rocky, it passes through like this rocky, like, pass. There's a bit where you can get like a vantage point on them. You could totally jump off as a bear and malky them if you land on the cart.
Let's do that.
Sure. Okay. So I don't want to go through this as like a combat or anything. Just give us roll a d20 to begin with, and then we'll see figure out what you'd add to it, because that d20 might make things go very well or very poorly just on its own.
Nine.
9.
That's not very much.
So you can add your wisdom and your proficiency bonus. What would that bring it to?
Wisdom would be plus 10. Plus 10, is that right?
That doesn't sound right. Not unless you have a 30 wisdom.
On one side.
That's probably your saving throw bonus.
No, it says wisdom. Oh, right, so it's plus 5 for the wisdom, and what's the other thing? Sorry,
Your proficiency bonus. Is plus 5. It says under your XP bar.
Under the what bar? Sorry, I just know where it is. Oh, that's right. I see it right there. Sorry.
Okay, so actually, it is plus
10 altogether, so 19.
Yeah, 19. Okay. Well, let's see how they do. Okay. Well, they're not going to get a plus 15. So you're turning into a bear and you're summoning bears. Is that right?
Can I summon bears and still have the wind thing?
Yeah. The wind thing is just a thing that happens. It's not a concentration or anything. So there's no risk of if you get malky, unless you die or go unconscious.
I'll summon Beavis and Bunty, and Beavis and Bunty and Raffin will malky the two guys and free the Drake.
Sure. Okay. So the camera pans and it's with these two guys on the carriage, and they're like, and Draconic. They're like, "What did you have for dinner last night?" Oh, well, same as everyone. What are you having for dinner tomorrow? Don't know. See what they're serving, Bit sick of this now, but I mean, hopefully when they get to the rock, there'll be something, and there's like crash sound, and as this bear and two spectral bears, kind of like two bears kind of come at them from the front. They kind of like the cart's being pulled by the Calicar, and they have to kind of like the Calicar like freak out and kind of slow down. There's this kind of like mad scree, and then this bear, there's this thump behind them as this rapid in bear form lands, and then how are you bashing these guys about, Rapid? Are you like full lethal, or are you just gonna try and like knock them out?
I'm gonna try and knock him out. I don't see any need to kill him if there's.
Sure, yeah. So they kind of turn around. It's this bear land, this big massive bear. It's got this corded, sinuous muscles, and then it just like rears one pop and slaps them, and they get like thrown off from the carriage in this heap, and kind of are just like lying there. There's just two of them, and now they're pretty conked out.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's some frightened pack animals in front, so that it's like they look like they're kind of about to try and bolt it, maybe. Otherwise, it's
I
just you
want to
and
go
this.
and pacify the pack animals first.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean you're a druid, you kind of go over there and they're like, just your presence kind of soothes them, and they kind of calm down and give them some scratches, and they kind of nuzzle you in.
Now, I know I could use my ring for this, but I want to use Arbor for this.
Sure.
And use one of the charges to... I'm just trying to do druidy things with the druid staff, and hopefully good things will happen.
Sure.
So I'm going to use the Speak with Animals and talk to the Drake.
It snaps at you.
You look confused. Sorry?
It snaps at you.
Okay. I'll say, be calm. I will free you soon.
Are you still a bear at this point? Or are you back in elf form?
I'll turn back to elf form.
You see it like flick this like long tongue around its lips and kind of eyes you like you're tasty.
Oh, okay.
You can see it's got
If
these
you're
big like
calm.
nasty teeth.
Oh, nice. Okay. Would the Dragonborn have told me anything about these drakes? I mean, I'm about to make friends with something that's just going to eat me.
I mean, you've seen them once or twice before. Like it's just a similar sort of. As a druid, you probably see this sort of thing with caged animals quite a lot of the time. Like especially if they're trained, like it's clear that it's been trained for, or attempts have been made to train it for like purposes of war and stuff like that. So it's probably not the friendliest, but it doesn't mean that it can't be or re-friendly.
Can I use a charge on the ring of animal influence and use animal friendship?
Sure, yeah. It kind of when you do that, it kind of like a whole lot of tension in its the way it carries itself kind of gets released, and it kind of like in fact I just want one. It kind of sort of like kind of crouches down and sort of like starts to kind of like bat you like a cat within its cage.
Cool. I'll say, is that a boy or a girl drake? I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
You're not really sure.
I'll just say, in a moment you'll be free. I just need to make sure that you won't attack me. And I'll say I'm Master Hafen of the Order of Druids. I can see that this army takes your people and keeps them in bondage. Not that kind of bondage.
Just laughing at him, man.
Yeah.
Everyone was like,
Your laugh now. See when we're up against it in the final battle and there's like an army of drakes come down to help us, like Han Solo style.
Oh, watch out! Here come the BDSM.
We'll be laughing then. Hey, it's May the 4th. I had to get a Star Wars reference. So I'll say, in a moment I'm going to let you go, but are we still going by this Wings of Justice? Is that what we're calling ourselves? Right. An army is coming through this land, liberating it from its suppressors. I now know that you and your people are being oppressed. So, when the time is right, we will liberate you. He's got the bug eyes, man.
You get a generally kind of. It doesn't say anything this whole time. But it's like, okay, cool. Basically, it's kind of the vibe you get of it.
Okay. Right, I'm going to let it go, and then I'm going to let the cart animals go as well.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it's just a fairly there's like a padlock on the lock, but you're able to either just kind of snap it open with like you can probably just kind of break
Is
it open
the
with a
Drake injured? Is the
Uh,
Drake injured?
No, it's not injured. You get the impression from talking to it and kind of like possibly even looking at it that it just might be quite young, like it might not be all that
Oh,
old.
okay.
Because it has a very kind of like childlike manner compared to
Does
like
it have a name? Can I ask its name?
It doesn't say anything. It just kind of goes. It makes this kind of snapping draconic sound.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right. Well,
Snappy.
we'll let it go.
Happy.
Sure, yeah. You kind of you use the thing open and it kind of sort of pokes its head out and sort of steps down from the cart, and then you see it stretch its wings and then it kind of flies off into the air.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Hey. Nice.
And then you said you're releasing the pack animals as well.
Yes.
Sure, yeah, you can go and unhinge them. They take to it a bit more gingerly than anything. They kind of just like kind of plod forward a bit, and one of them goes over to a tree nearby and starts like grazing. The other one goes a little bit down the road, and you're not convinced they're gonna like run away or anything, but they're at least getting some eats in. Yeah, and you can see the guards
I'm
are kind of
planning a
starting
whole
to
animal
stir.
army. I'll tell you.
And yeah, then you see this kind of like one of the guards kind of starts to kind of shift and stuff. So looks like they're kind of waking up now. What are you doing?
I'm going to get out of there and just make sure the Drake's got away, and then I'll head back once I've finished combing my area, and I'll head back to
Sure. Okay.
the rendezvous point.
Yeah. Okay. So literally, you don't see a Drake turn up on it. You see a cart turn up with a. Actually, you just don't see a cart turn up at all.
Okay.
That didn't happen. So that was Raffin. So Zarzan got a 16 in checking both those caves, or both those hexes. So what does Zarzan find?
Caves?
No caves.
Oh.
Zarzan, you find as you're checking out the hill area, you can find this area where there's like a valley in the hills, but it's kind of it's like kind of raised up, so the geography of it means that there's no footpath up there. But it's a forested valley that is kind of secluded. The only route in is basically by air. It's got plenty of trees around. But it's slightly cramped. You could fit all the people there, but you're not like convinced that they'd be like super thrilled about it. Like it'd be a bit kind of close. But it would definitely be a potential area for storing the army in. The other hex, check out. You don't see any no potential locations for the army to hang out in. Is there specific things you're looking for in these hexes as well? Because you're kind of having a bit more of a dedicated comb over.
Not particularly, just anything of note.
Anything of note. And let me see how that compares to the map. I think you might see Beleth in there. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's this kind of forest area that you pass through, and part of it extends up into the valley above. You can see, like, not in this area, but like a little further along, there's like a logging operation, but the forest down here seems relatively tame. There's plenty of there's no activity in this area. There's lots of wild beasts and things roaming around. The other hex you check out is, you can see this big town is there, Beleth. You remember being from Scale. There's a couple other villages and things like that around. But most of this hex is kind of just this big town. It's kind of slightly smaller than Ormouth or anywhere like that you've possibly been to before. If you do think of anything you want specifically to know, whether like about that hex, let me know, because you can, I can give it to you afterwards if you're kind of curious about stuff, or even if you guys kind of, when you do your debrief, if you find out like, oh, it would actually be kind of useful to know about this thing from that hex, you can kind of retroactively get information on it. If there's anything else, if there's not anything else immediately obvious that you're interested in checking out.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Then Rurak was checking out the paths and the area there. So Rurak, you don't find any locations for storing an army in, but you can check out the paths. It's this big kind of rift in this mountain range, big, well-paved road that runs through it. You can see there's some traffic moving along. You can actually see, it's not in this hex, but you can see it in the distance. There's quite a large caravan coming from the southern tip of Scale, and it looks like it's heading up through the pass right now.
Can I have a look for any identifying symbols or sigils or anything like that?
Sure, yeah. I don't know what the sigil looks like, but you see the clan Markek symbol on it. That you would, like, you guys would know what the sigils of the great clans are, even if I don't know them all. But you definitely see this one is definitely Markek aligned. And it looks like it's quite there's like a good like 20 or 30 guards there, like a few 3 or 4 caravans worth of people and stuff moving up the road fairly slowly.
And is it like a troop carrying? Is there one carriage that looks particularly like
there is one carriage that looks particularly nice. It's quite ornate.
Can I have a bit of a gassy, sneaky look in?
Sure. Give us a stealth check.
All right.
Because you are still a cloud.
If I feel like someone is like giving me the looks, then I'll boost.
Sure. Okay.
Someone giving the cloud the looks.
Yeah.
Hey, that's clouds awfully. Oh, it's flying away. What's
Oh shit.
Hey, come in, please. Hey, let's have a look. Who's our started port?
Sure. So you're having a great time, exploring all this. You're gonna go so fast. It feels a lot better than the last time you were in wind form when Silmer did it, and I think you got like really nauseous or something, right?
Yeah.
You're pretty used to it now. You're like, this is like, I think it's maybe a whole lot of time at sea. You're kind of accustomed to it, so you're having a great time flying around and poking around and things, and spying on people and stuff like that. And you kind of come down towards this carriage, and like as you approach, you can see people that are kind of like looking around, and then it's like, did you hear that? Like, I don't know. And then they look, like at one point someone looks up and sees this big cloud, and then they kind of nudge someone else and they're like, what's that? And you realize you become very self-conscious that you're humming at that point. You're humming like a traditional dwarvish, like, workouts or get shit done song. And you get the overwhelming sensation that you have been detected. And they're like, is that a cloud? That's awfully low, isn't it? It's just floating there. Weird. Was that always there?
Birds are moving and
It's going away again. That's weird. Let's just have a look. Just curious. And the caravan sort of stops after that for a minute, and they watch you disappear into the distance, and they're like, they kind of look at one another, and they're like, that was unusual, wasn't it? So you don't really get any idea of what's going on in that caravan. They get an idea that you're there, but they obviously don't know you're just a cloud, so there's no identification on you. So you kind of beat a hasty retreat. What else do you discover? So around about here, around about there, kind of just on the border of your hex and Zarzan's, you discover a large, heavy stone door set into the hillside.
Oh.
Okay. It's very old. Looks like.
I have a thing for this. I have dwarven things for this. Sorry, go ahead, Jake. Yeah.
I mean, it's very old. It's basically most of what you can gather at the minute. It has these carvings on it, but it's so old and worn that it's difficult to make out what the carvings are. But it's just this massive. It's like a good 10, 12 feet tall slab of stone set into the mountainside.
Cool. I have stone cunning, so whenever I make an intelligence history check related to an origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in history and add double proficiency to the bonus check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. That's cool.
All right.
So, I'll do a history check on that if that's alright, Jake.
Go for it, yeah.
So it'll be adding, what's my proficiency bonus? +4? So +8, I guess, if it's doubled.
That makes sense, yeah.
Sweet. And 10.
Come on.
That's great.
10.
That's
It's
anticlimax.
well out of your ballpark here. You can tell it's granite that it's made of. Or would it be granite? Yeah, I'm gonna say it's granite. I only know 3 rocks, so I'm gonna say it's granite. And you're like, yeah, that's granite. It's quite nice granite. Very well worked. Quite like granite.
Could I is there anyone around? Does this look like an old abandoned?
You don't see anyone around.
I'll take a minute to demist and sketch the door, if that's alright.
Just draw a picture of it?
Draw a picture of it, any runes that I see, draw them as detailed as I can.
Sure,
Can you not seep under it?
Can I also?
It's a bit of wind. Can you seep under it?
Oh, that's a good idea. Can I seep through any cracks, Jake?
I think you can seep through cracks that are an inch tall. That's usually how it works. It doesn't actually specifically say. But there are this thing is super packed in. It's there is no gaps.
Okay.
Tunnel through.
Tunnel through. That's why it worked last time.
Are the runes ingrained into the stone?
They are embossed. They're embossed, yeah. So they're kind of raised. The stone is kind of carved.
You could do the putting the parchment over the thing and put.
Yeah, I'll do all the
rubbing it.
Do a little rubbing.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. It's quite a big door. You don't have enough time to. You don't have enough paper on you to rub the whole thing. You can get a certain. The choicest bits you can.
I've got some books that I've read. I'll tear some pages out of.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Hang on.
But it dies a little bit inside somewhere.
I'm trying to see what.
Why do I feel like this?
Somewhere. Somehow, somewhere. Rurex. Disrespecting books.
Thinking of mockery of wizardry.
I seem to remember sometimes having old Altius pamphlets. How about those, Jake?
Yeah, I mean the problem you're gonna have with them is they're written on, so that it's kind of less. It's gonna kind of muddy the rubbings, if that makes sense.
Well,
but you can make rubbing.
I'll just do the sketches then.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. You just do those sketches. Get some choice rubbings. You can see this is you probably maybe have it definitely looks and kind of feels like a door. But if you kind of have a little press on it, and you're I'm no shifting that door on my own.
Okay.
So yeah, you get a pretty good sketch on it. Get some rubbings on it. But that kind of coupled with the your encounter with the caravan is basically all you get. Other than you thoroughly scout that bit out, and you're there's not really there's a cave over one of the kind of over part of the pass, but it's not big enough to support an army, and there's no trees nearby or anything. But it is an option if you could get there.
Out of curiosity, is this the highest peak, the mountain that I'm on right now?
No, maybe it's either that. It's kind of you're not actually sure. It looks like either it's that one there, or it's this one in the north is the other bigger one.
All right. Well, can I take 10 minutes to meditate in the top of this mountain?
Sure. Yeah.
Do a little spray with
yeah.
Altius and stuff.
Yeah, you get some good vibes. He's
Cool.
yeah, rock on, man. Yeah, top of the
I'm on a
mountain.
new mountain.
Top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Dope.
Find the hammer. Nice.
Yeah, you have a little meditate, and you feel pretty zen. Have a thoroughly pleasant day. Scouting stuff. Is that everyone at that point, but not on your
a firm Rurak ass plant on the tip of that mountain.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's winter, so it's probably kind of snowy at the top. So there's definitely a melted arse.
Yeah. Yes.
Snow.
Nice.
And then so that was Wreck the 60. So yeah, it's just Muir left. So Muir, you are heading to Ormond, is that right? With your 37.
Quick question before I go: can I put on? Can I take off the cloak of protection and put on the helm of telepathy that I keep forgetting to have?
Sure, yeah. Sure, yeah. So you, what are you? I should have asked earlier what you're going to do in Ormond. So what do you want to do in Ormond? What are you trying to get out of your experience there?
Juicy gossip mainly, and there is his second in command lives there. Is that right?
Mhm.
So try and sneak around her place, I guess.
Sure, okay. Well, you're in luck because you kind of the initial sneaky gossip you find out is that you find out that Sulira Markex, the kind of the governor of Ormond, the manager of Ormond, the boss, the mayor, she's out of town right now. She's on her way to the capital to hang out with Valasar and fill him in on stuff, as is usually kind of what happens in the last month of the year. So she's not going to be back until like the new year. She's going to go there and she's going to stay until after Christmas and then come back. So it's relatively straightforward to there's this big building in Ormond that is kind of, you can tell it's got like these big Markex banners on it. You're able to be like, it's probably where she lives. And she's taken quite a lot of her household with her crew. So you kind of almost have the run. With the 37, you're able to have a pretty sizable snoop around in there and kind of get whatever information you're really after, probably.
If she has an office, swiping as many documents as I can stick in a bag.
Yeah. You're just grabbing stuff.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing whatever looks fancy.
Okay. Yeah. All sorts of correspondence, books, ledgers, all just grist for the mill.
Shiny.
So what?
Maybe anything that's particularly shiny or important looking.
Yeah, she has. But yeah, you get the distinct impression from her office and just generally kind of the air about the place that she is a lady of refined taste and quite a lot of wealth. So you're able to you get like a nice she's got a statue of someone, might be her, like a bust. It's difficult to say. It's yours now.
This is great.
Are you just checking out her office, or are you checking out like other places as well?
Mainly her office, but
Okay.
I'll have a snoop around, see if there's any particular.
I mean, like you found like her bedroom and stuff.
Take our bed
Did she
sheets.
have like a thing for stamping, like a seal?
A seal? Yeah. She has a. You find a little signet ring.
Nice. Let's do that. Anything else while I'm here? I don't suppose she has like a. I guess that would be her office. She wouldn't like have a war room or anything like that. No. Okay.
You find some stuff that has like information about like garrisons and things like that, but it's mostly just kind of. Yeah.
All right, that seems to be. Yeah, that'd be it. Oh, actually, I'm supposing she's a fancy lady. She probably has a wine cellar. Go in there.
Yeah,
and
she.
get the biggest bottle I can find.
Sure, yeah, she has some really nice wines down there. You might have to give us a stealth check at this point.
Fair enough. I will give myself.
Are you moving around the place as Muir or as Cloud?
So are we? Can we drop in and out of it?
You can drop in and out of it. Yeah, it just takes a minute either end.
Yeah, I'll when I'm sticking things in a bag, I'll drop in, and then.
Sure.
When I'm moving, I'll be a sneaky
Okay.
Cloud. Come on, don't screw me over, stealth. Normal and a plus.
Ooh.
5.
Can I use my inspiration?
Sure, yeah.
Be a bit slow. For fuck's sake.
8 is better than 5.
It
Okay.
is.
So you
Excellent.
you head out of I guess you head out of her office. You kind of head you leave wherever room you're in, go in to check out the wine cellar, and you kind of float down in your cloud form. You kind of come face to face with this just like cleaner, and they point, and you're like, this is, oh god, this is gonna go badly. And they say, ghost, and then they like. So you've been detected, but
I'll find a nice little corner, wait until I turn back into a cloud, and boost.
sure, okay. Yeah, okay. So you're just heading back to.
Yeah. If that's the time we've got. That's cool.
I mean, like, so you got a 37 on an 8-hour check to investigate a city. So if there's anything else you want, you can absolutely do it now. But you can also, like, later on go like, hey, when I was in Ormond and I got that 37 on my fucking check to go and see stuff, did I hear anything about this or whatever?
Yeah, okay. To be honest, I think just spend most of that time swiping whatever looks valuable.
Sure, okay.
Or, no, yeah, looks important. So I feel like I'd use that time to get the juiciest bits.
Okay.
Trying to think of anything else. I guess when I'm leaving, have a quick like swoop around, see how many like military people are there. It's by the sea, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So they have they have a dock, and you can see the Fogrunners there actually, the ship that you arrived in Skill with, but it's kind of like it's running. There's very few people on board. It looks like it's kind of like you're not really that up on ships particularly, but it looks like it's kind of in like a we're going to be here for a fucking while now sort of mode. And the people on deck look kind of like bored. So there's a dock. You can see there's some other Suros ships there. There's walls around the sea, and there are guards on the walls. And you can see there's like a garrison bit. So like there's a military presence here. It's not like massive. It's certainly it's not any bigger than Nairn's army. But they obviously you'd be like. They do have walls though, which is a nice advantage to have. Better to have walls than not have walls. We wouldn't have walls. So they're definitely, there's like a pretty sizable force here, but it's not like ridiculous.
Okay.
And you've got like logs of information on that sort of stuff as well.
All right, yeah, that'll be me then.
Sure, okay. So yeah, and you're all going back to where the army is to kind of debrief and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So you all kind of mosey on back at roughly the same time. You kind of everyone in the camp, as you're kind of coming in cloud form at various points, like whoever's first to arrive back, they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And some arrows kind of go in your direction, and then you kind of come down and you're like, "Oh, it's just me." And everyone's like, "Okay." And so everyone else after that doesn't really have as big of a problem. You all kind of variously arrive back at camp.
Hello.
Hey.
Anyone? Anybody else?
Found a big door.
Ooh.
Is anyone? Hey guys, you read Dragonborn. What does this say? I'll show off my sketches, Jake.
You show a few sketches. So Nairn and Zorgalar, it's not like the stuff on the door, the stuff on the drawing that Rurak shows you, doesn't read like words, like it's kind of looks more like pictures and symbology, but you're not entirely sure what it is of. It kind of you're like maybe like a tomb or something. It's kind of like it's pictures of stuff happening, but it's so old and faded, and also it's like an old and faded thing that's been drawn by someone who's not from this culture or this kind of location, with like the materials they had on hand. So you're not really able to gather much information about it, but you're like, it's definitely a door with some pictures on it. Not sure what the pictures are of. Like maybe that's a sword there, and that looks like it could be. It's kind of going. It could be a dragon or something. I don't know.
Could we ask Sora to check in?
Um,
The location of where it was found and
Alex.
used to be queen.
I'll explain where I found it.
Sure, yeah.
She knows. Yeah.
She's probably able to give you some info. She's like, yeah, that thing's been there for ages. It's just like a tourist site. We're not really sure. It's like we just kind of thought it was a big drawing. It's kind of usually.
A door?
You think it's a door?
It's definitely a door.
Well, what makes you say it's a door?
Well, I know stone doors. That was one.
Well, what about it made you? How do you know?
Well, there's a bit in the middle. There's 2 bits on the sides. Yeah, you know. When
sure?
you push it.
You sure it's not just drawn that way?
It's a pretty...
If it's a door, then why has it never been opened?
Because you thought it was a painting.
Yeah, well,
How many people trying to open paintings?
Your son's got a point.
I mean, maybe it's a door. I don't know. It's kind of. There's a Narad play about it, I think, somewhere. They've had people down to study it, and they kind of just go. We think it's just it's kind of generally. Some people go and look at it occasionally. It's kind of well known, but it's not like we're not really sure what it is.
Any stories around it?
Yeah, she tells you there's kind of like there's some fictional ones. There's like some people have gone in like and interpreted the pictures and stuff like that and made like plays out of them and stuff like that. But it's usually kind of like everyone's kind of like, well, it's obviously it's just a play. It's not She doesn't remember off the top of her head what the play was about. She doesn't know that it exists.
She didn't care.
Is there such a thing as like old knowledge that Scale has? Libraries, old texts, old slates, whatever.
Well, Uber should probably have that. Or possibly Orn, depending on the content. There's definitely. She says there's like a library in Carental that has like information and stuff like that.
Okay.
How big was the mountain that the door was in?
I thought it was the biggest. You'll know this sorta. Is that the biggest mountain, or is the one up there the biggest mountain?
They're about the same size, I think.
Oh, okay. So a big one. Because potentially, if we can get that door open, that's a good storage place. But also, there could be some fucking fucked up shit in there.
Oh, we've done enough cosmic horror. It's.
But like friendly cosmic horror that wants to buddy up with us. You never know.
Maybe.
Because no one knows there's a door, we can just close the doors after we go in, and be like, and no one will come in because they'll be like, "That's just that painting."
That's true, but we don't know how to open the door. I mean, I tried to push it as hard as I could, but
Can't you do your tunnel through thing if it's stone?
I should have thought of that, really. But also, I did get spotted. I got spotted as air ghosty times by some carriage with your seal going through the passageway. Obviously, don't know it was me. They just know there was some air that was acting weird.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, spooky air. So some carriage which was going from south to north, from Ormond to Carental. That's all I can tell you.
Shouldn't really be a problem.
Who was in the carriage?
I don't know. I just know it was going from Ormond to Carental. That's all I can tell you. I tried to have a look, but then they saw me. So unless anyone else has any information, that kind of thing, then I don't know.
Here.
Huh?
Do you know anything about anyone?
Perhaps it was the mayor.
Why would it be that? Couldn't it just be some random people?
Someone important with a
With the
Legion
Marquette seal.
with a Marquette seal.
Oh, right.
To Carental. I
Sorry,
don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone else does though.
Oh, well, funnily enough. Sorry. Oh, I was slow on that one. I just said words,
It's all good.
Let me just find her name again. It might have been Cerelia Marquette, who was at our home. And she was on the way to the capital from Ormond, funnily enough. So who knows? It could have been her. Ooh. Speaking of which, and I emptied the bag.
There's just this obscene quantity of papers. There's a bottle of ink there that spills and smashes on the floor. A bust rolls out. There's some various just valuable things. A bottle of wine.
Naren goes straight for the wine.
Hey, for sharing that.
Can Rurak try and pinch anything? One thing that's shiny to put in his beard. Just one thing.
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, use your imagination, mate. It's probably in there.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying Malbron's a fake, but I kind of get it now. This is fun. Just look at all this stuff. I'm sure there's something useful in here.
Aye.
The janitor saw me and might have thought I was a ghost, but...
Oh, so you got spotted too. Not just me. Yes. Cool.
What is the Zorgonized relation to this mayor?
You're not really sure. Sora would probably know. She'd be like,
Sora.
cousin.
Yeah.
Oh!
First cousin?
Yeah, it's your she'll I'll give you the information. I'll give you like the. It's like basically it's like, your dad's sister's daughter.
I should
Okay.
probably also go turn my lights on.
I found a Goonie-style cave with
Ooh!
that we can
Oh.
hide the ship in.
What are these goodies that you're always speaking of, Aaron?
Must be a
It's
scalar.
a tale I heard as a child.
Scalar table.
Yeah, it's a cave big enough that you can only enter via water. It's very close to the capital. And I believe there's probably a cave network in there.
Kind of problematic being so close to the capital, no?
Ease of access.
I mean, it's not going to be very easy getting in, is what I'm thinking.
We can at least go explore it and
Yeah,
figure out
good.
the feasibility.
We could probably get the walrus in, if it fits.
You did say it was ship
Yeah,
sized.
the only issue is one in, one out is the only issue.
I think I can get you guys
So
in.
one exit.
And out.
Yeah, it's more like if sewers find out we're there, they just block off the exit. There's no escape.
Just don't let them, they won't find out. We'll,
They won't.
Solid plan.
yeah, I'll do a big storm, and everyone will go inside, and no one will see.
It's your solution to everything, isn't it? A big storm.
You got
To
another
be
solution?
fair, it's a solution that often works.
Mhm.
It's
No
true.
one wants to be outside in a storm. Well, apart from me, but you know.
I have fond memories of the
Oh,
time you
no.
tried to fly a kite in the storm just so you could get electrocuted.
On my ship. We were trying to get my ship hit by lightning.
Healed me a bit though.
How many days has it been since we saw the 8th Legion? Like
You saw them
the
literally
story
yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
You guys have only
Okay,
been on
that's
scale for
true.
10 days, by the way,
Oh, wow.
Like- including the time you guys fucked off to the moon. Like
Oh.
Efficient.
that's part of the reason Naren Scouts haven't really found much yet, is because they've literally just not had that much time.
Ah, I see.
Why can't they turn into wind? Fucking slackers.
Yeah. Fucking they'll do
I mean,
all
we
their
could
jobs.
get them to. And then we don't have to look, they can just look.
That's
That
good.
is not a bad idea.
Hmm. Um,
Because I,
yeah,
for
can
one,
we
am not the
just,
best survivalist.
Can we just assume we all debrief and not actually have to just
Hmm.
repeat
Yeah, I'm
half the
good with
session
that.
to each other?
So what's the plan?
Get drunk on this really fancy wine you found? Shake, shake,
Ah.
shake.
More of
While
war
discussing the plan,
plan.
yes.
I think there, as
Hold
far
on,
as I
what's
could
our
pick
war
up,
plan?
there was like 5 possible plans.
5.
Goonies Cave. That's pretty cool. We could make use of that.
Yes.
I don't think we should look into the door just now. Or we could, but like it seems like a side quest. it could potentially like lead to something really cool, like a big cave that we can hide in, but we don't know. It could fuck us up by having an ancient evil dragon that's under a mountain.
Because
That's
might be
okay. I'll
really
just make
grateful.
friends with it and take it away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that'd be cool. If we awaken an
Take it on
ancient
holiday.
lich dragon, that'd be sick. But also probably pretty awful for the world.
We've done enough damage to the world so far.
The moon still isn't even quite right.
Orminth is unoccupied by the leader.
Also, as an addition to
Take
that,
over the city.
we know Bournemouth is unguarded, and the mayor is kind of just a sitting duck at the moment. I'm not saying we should kidnap her, but that is an option.
I don't think
I don't want to
scouted
kidnap
be
her,
any
but I
good
want to
either.
have a meeting with her.
Hmm.
I would like to talk to her. Maybe not kidnap her.
But I'm not saying we should, but it's there. Just put that out there.
I'm not
It
saying
is
we
an
shouldn't,
option.
though.
It would be a fantastic opportunity if that's what you wanted to do.
But then
Good
I
note.
think surely Valasar could sway everyone against us, being like, kidnapping your leaders. I don't know.
Not everybody hate her. We don't know that.
Zarzan found an area. Was that right? What was that like
I
again?
found a secluded valley
Mm-hmm.
with no way of access.
Trees?
Except the air. And they have
Except
Drake
air.
riders.
No trees at all?
The head trees was a forest.
Tons of trees.
That would work.
I think that is currently our best option.
Mm.
Until the Goonie Caves is explored.
I have an option
A, I
that
think.
I have a thing that I think would just generally help a bit, would be maybe Mad Maxing the Drake Cove mountains so that they can't get more drakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like just blocking off that path and then fucking off and leaving it. Like it helps the drakes, it helps us, it detriments the enemy.
Certainly wouldn't hurt to get more drinks on our side. You know, if push came to shove, that'd be pretty cool.
So here's the thing as well, is that we three of us have revealed ourselves today. Muir got caught as a ghost, I got caught as wind, and Fraffen knocked out 2 guards.
But I was
So-
disguised as a bear.
Yes. The enemies are going to have reports of like weird stuff happening from the north, the middle, and the south of the island, which is
Yeah, they would be terrified.
awesome. That's really good for us because like they don't know where we are.
Mhm.
So we have options.
There's also the cave that is like up above the one that I found, the one that's up above their military, which is not a good place to store everyone. But when we actually have to move our people from where we're storing them to like a place where we're about to launch an attack, surprise attack from above, straight into the military base,
Yeah.
is an option.
Yeah.
You could also
Might not be a good option,
potentially-
but it's something.
My
you could
place had
potentially have
caves, but
scouts up there.
my place had caves, but I think
Just
there's
watch over
already
the
an
camp.
army.
What did you say, Rana?
I was saying my place had caves that'd be suitable, but that's where the Drake Young live, and also the army's there, so it might be a place to look at if we were taking on that army. We could stage from above, and hopefully the Drakes will remember that
Yeah.
we're pals.
Like, if we help the drakes by blocking off the mountain paths so that more drakes can't get taken, and that puts us on a better footing with the drakes, that gets us in a good stance to kind of attack that castle from above with the cave above, and also
I could work on
hopefully
that. I could
back up
work
the drakes.
on Craft and Drake relations.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I don't think that plan's going to work the way you think it will, Patrick.
Oh yeah,
It's a little something called Coast.
coast. Yes, the coast.
my arch
My
nemesis.
old friend.
Oh,
We meet again, Coast.
I
The
have-
apprentice has become the master.
We can probably get the walrus into the Goonies cave. I've already said this with the storm and fog clouds and other such things. I'm sure we have the things between us to make it work.
Yeah,
You've
the
got to go for the
technology.
one called the Goonies Cave.
Should we just call it the Goonies cave? That's his name now.
Who is this Gunny you speak of?
I think plan A is start moving the troops to the valley that Zazen found. And meanwhile, also try and talk to the mayor on how long is the journey from Ormonth to Canton?
With the handy dandy ruler. Let's see, we got one. No, come on.
You travel a hex in a day, right?
Aye. It's not playing Bob.
So like 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 or 5 days.
I think she must have
5
been on
probably.
the 3rd day of her journey.
Yeah, if you
So
want
it
to
might
go.
work actually. We can intercept her around here. As we're moving the troops there.
Well, that's where the thing is, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. That's where Zarzan's Valley is.
Well, never mind.
Well, if we intercept now, what if we go see her like right now?
I was about to say, so it's less close to where we're storing the army.
That's true. But we do need to start moving the army ASAP because...
Oh yeah, for sure. But you, Nara doesn't necessarily need to be the one moving the army, because it's
Just,
more of a
yeah.
Raffin and Fish
Just
job.
to Raffin.
Mm-hmm. In fact, Fraffin needs to see the valley, so Zarza needs to show Fraffin where it is.
So we need to wait till tomorrow so we can windwalk again.
Oh,
So
trip.
that
No.
Raffin and Zazen can
Can Fraffin
go
eagle
to the
shape?
valley.
Could
Yeah,
you turn
eagles. I can dirt
That's the
shape.
point.
if Zarzan gets on the back of Fraffin, then they just go off and see
I'm
that
just
is.
a pack animal to you people.
Well, when you turn into a pack animal,
I could do that.
An
I could
eagle.
turn into a
An eagle.
horse.
a pack of eagles.
There's a gang of eagles.
Oh, is it a gang? Oh.
Actually, I don't know. I'm going to have to check.
So how
but-
though?
Oh, sorry.
You go. It's fine.
Oh, it's kind of slightly, it's not unrelated, but on the handy dandy scale handout, Ormonth doesn't like Markax that much. So if you wanted to take Ormonth now that the Markax lady is not there, that would also be good. You might be able to pull the whole waves of justice, liberate the people, blah blah blah. She's gone. Let's have a little
I think
mini
we
revolution in here.
find out though that it was Markexes who were liberating them.
Well, it depends what about the Markaxes they don't like, because they might not have a problem with you. They
I think
not
it's
like
the
the other
main
ones.
part.
You're on your side.
Do you know
This
what
is
collective
a-
noun for eagles is?
I don't know.
Convocation.
A convocation. That's good.
You can have an eyrie, a congress, a convocation, a jubilee, a soar, a spread, a tower, or a not the bloody eagles, man. I've had a rough night.
I like a Thor. A Thor of eagles is cool. This is a
The
very
only issue
unique
with taking-
situation for me.
If it's Harriers, though, it's a harassment.
The biggest issue with taking Ormonth is we then have to hold it,
Yeah,
because
that's a big
otherwise
problem.
they'll just take it back,
Yeah.
and that would be then our little army versus the rest of Scale. Except for now we have walls.
Or we have an opportunity to get the civilians of Ormonth on our side. There's some opportunity to profit off of Ormonth being empty. That opportunity is going to be gone in a little bit of time. I don't know what that profit is going to be though.
4
Like,
weeks.
4
We have
weeks.
4 weeks to deal with Ormonth.
Okay. Well
Do
then,
another Waves of Justice tour, help out the people there. We are I don't know what they do in Ormonth, loggers.
we are the loggers. Don't we have that ship? Didn't you say the ship was there that we?
Oh yeah,
The Fog Runner.
fog runners there. They look pretty bored.
I mean, what about the fog runner in the Goonies cave?
But why would they need to hide? They're in the harbour.
We steal the fog runner. We keep in the Guinea's cave. That way, you have 2
What?
ships in your fleet.
You know, I don't have the crew for 2 ships. Also, there are friends.
You've got an army. Oh wait,
They don't know
they're
how to sail. They're soldiers.
well. Okay, listen. I'm just trying to give you options. You know.
I think for now, let's just deal with moving the army and intercepting the mayor.
Sounds like a good idea.
But in order to intercept the mayor before she gets into the area where we're moving the army to, we need to go right now.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow she'll be in the area.
Do we all have to go right now, or does like just you and some other folk have to go right now? Because Frafin and Zarzan could find, or Zarzan could show Frafin where the new location is.
If Zarzan and Harafin go to where the new location is, open up a portal for us to go through, and then we just need to figure out how to get down to here and back relatively quickly.
Wings is nearby, so I can take one of you on Wings once we get to the new location. I think Wings is near around that area somewhere.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay. Remember that is about 50 miles away. So
How
it will
long
take
would that
you.
take to fly as an eagle?
I don't know. I haven't done the maths on it. I think it was like 80 feet around was the speed that was mentioned before, right?
Has anyone got speed spells they can cast on Frafin?
I don't know how fast eagles fly. I imagine it would probably take you 2 or 3 hours.
That's not that bad.
I can tell you it was like 400 feet or something. I can't remember. Hold on.
What time is it currently?
It's like 10 o'clock at night.
Ah, fuck.
Flies
So we'll
80
be
feet.
stepping in early morning.
Am I able to get any sort of like rough direction of where Gales is, Jake? Just like out of like a meditation or a prayer or something? Maybe with my Crowseer shield, I kind of channel through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just like hanging around the camp, really.
Oh, okay. Well, he's here then.
I imagine he just kind of follows you guys around, roughly.
Alright, cool.
At least vaguely. Like he knows that's where people hang out. That's probably where he's probably there or in the vicinity.
And Naren, if we want to take Gales, we can just now. I think it would just be like you and me. They can fit on Gales.
How do we get past 20 guards?
I don't know.
I guess we'll figure that out on the way.
Yeah, I'm coming up with about 20 miles an hour for an eagle at top speed.
Meow.
So that you're looking at,
For a
yeah, about
giant ass
two-
crow.
2.5, about the same. Fuck, I don't know.
Slow. 20 miles per hour.
Well, they won't be, tooting along very fast in the dark, so you could probably catch up to them. Not too bad.
Now he wants a glass of wine before he goes. He's been off the run for too long.
How many people can Gales carry, Jake?
You and one, probably.
How about 1 plus Lida?
Yeah, it might not go as quite as fast, or might get tuckered out a bit faster. But yeah, that's probably doable. Yeah.
All right. Lida, do you want to get on here with me and Naren?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Off we go.
All right, cool.
Right. Okay. So, you guys are gonna try and next to the Marquez. Is that right?
Not nick her. Talk to her.
Okay. So you three are gonna get on Wings' back, and you're gonna fly to Ormonth Pass or thereabouts, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
For the
eastern
purposes
mouth
of-
Ormond Pass.
Sure. For the purposes of speaking with Sudhir Marquez.
Yes.
Okay. What are the rest of you do?
I would like to stay here and look through all the stuff, preferably with the help of someone who can speak Dragonborn, so like
I'll
Zorgar.
stay. I'll help.
Boom! Right, we'll have a little newsy and for things.
Nice.
And
Okay.
get drunk.
I will help out with that and do the comprehend languages thing, I think.
Nice.
You're on wings with me and Naren.
Oh, where are you? I don't actually know what's going on. I'm sorry. I'm very tired.
That's all good. I brought you along
Never
with me and
mind.
Naren because you have wizard spells that I don't. That might be helpful in situations.
Okay.
Invisibility.
Okay. I thought we were. Okay, never mind. I thought everyone was going.
Just no, the three of
not
us.
able to get everyone together.
Naren
Can
wants
I
to talk.
also leave some? Can I leave some orders with Balax?
Sure, yeah. He'll kind of be like floating while you guys are just. He's kind of like you can see he's kind of like floating around the edge, like kind of been chatting there, yeah. But yeah, like yeah, if you kind of give him an opportunity, he'll come over. He says, "Good to see you back, Commander. What news?"
Leaving again very shortly.
Of course. Do you have any further orders?
We're transporting the army to a valley that Zazen found.
That's Lieutenant Bill Zeros, is that right?
Yes.
Right.
Sure. Yes.
Where's this valley?
Yes.
And how are we
It's
transporting?
kind
Do we
of
need to back
central
things?
scale. Yeah, pack things. Start packing right away.
Right.
You're gonna be walking through trees.
Okay. You mean through just...
Some of the soldiers. When I say through trees, I mean literally. Some of the soldiers might get quite ill, so tell them to. They have their sea legs. They should be prepared for it.
half rations for dinner then?
Probably, yeah.
Actually, they probably already had dinner. But he's like, half rations for breakfast.
It might actually take a few days to get everyone there.
Right, okay.
We're sending off in batches.
Okay.
Also, I'm looking him dead in the eyes when I say this. Your nephew should be partway across
You see him
the
go
island
like
at this point.
you see him just kind of like his eye twitches. He's like, yes, I expect he'll be here soon. He just doesn't engage with.
If there's, I'm going to head off now. You should maybe be in one of the later batches to make sure everything is seen over here. But if you wish to discuss anything, maybe not keep me in the dark in the future, just get in contact and I'll just walk away.
You see him go like, and he kind of starts like barking orders at people. Sure, okay. How much time we got? Okay, and then you guys are gonna go and try and fly off to try and meet Sulira, is that right?
Mhm.
Sure, okay. So you guys take off, and Muir and Zorgar, you're looking through documents, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. So you're just kind of set up in the temple, flicking through stuff. Most of it's really boring. I'll give you like a rundown on things, probably after today. Is there anything specifically you're looking for information on?
Probably just kind of like garrisons, that kind of thing. Spies, if she knows that kind of business. I assume that's not really her department, but you never know. Stashes of things where like they keep. I guess it's still where they keep the garrisons, obviously, but I guess supply chains, blah blah, that kind of fun, juicy gossip. And dirt on anybody, I guess.
The goss.
Yeah. The juicy gossip we can blackmail people with.
Hmm.
We know where you were last summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Just one more thing, sir. Sure, okay.
Just evaluating any of the valuables.
Sure, yeah, okay. Okay, I will get you prudent information on that stuff.
Maybe the bust is one of those things that you tilt the head back and there's a button in it, you can press it and something fun happens.
No,
You
but
just
Whoa.
disconnected it from
Elevator.
whatever.
Or maybe it's wireless. You know,
Ah.
could be some
Her
advanced
head
level magic.
literally explodes.
Sure. Okay. So you guys are, you're. I got you probably just having to like sit cross-legged on the floor and like look through stuff and go and like giggle at each other and stuff. Kind of as you're sitting there doing stuff, people like kind of come in now that you guys are back and come to like chat to folk. Nishan turns up pretty quick to come and see how his worker is, and she kind of dashes over. She's got her bundle. She's kind of like, oh, you've got dirt on your face. How are?
Fucking stop it!
Don't take that tone with me.
Leave us alone. Jesus.
You're supposed to be a knight, son. You can't be going around with dirt all over your mud.
I'm trying.
Come
to go
on.
through these documents.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm in the way of your homework. I'll take me and your sibling somewhere else, shall I?
I'm trying to find important information about why we're here.
Right. Well, clearly you're important. So, well, I guess.
This is very important, actually.
Right. Well, I'll leave you to it then.
Sharon,
she
would
goes
you
away.
like to stay for a drink? Oh no, there she goes.
She
Smooth,
swears
sorry,
she
very,
loves
very
a
smooth.
relationship with your mom.
She'll be fine. Don't
Haven't
worry.
seen her in like a year.
Yeah, she's always
Oh wait,
like
I'll
this.
fuck you, mom.
Don't worry, she's always like this. She'll be fine.
Christ.
Sure. So, Crow Squad, you take off, fly through the air, soaring, flying. And it takes you about 2.5 hours. But as you're kind of like it's trying to get it's like midnight. You've not really had that much to eat. You got some snacks on you. Wings he's chatting to Rick the whole way just about shite. They're just like they're like an old married, just bickering away at each other. He's like you never, I'm just a mule to you.
You're always so far away.
Well, maybe if you invited me places, I would come.
You and that takes your age to get here.
I'm sorry, I'm too slow.
You throw on a show in front of my friends. Look at this. Look how awkward they look. Look at them.
Look, I'm sorry I have to think in 3 dimensions, unlike some.
Okay, we'll talk about this when we get back.
How are you, Lidda?
I'm good, Wings. I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, I've been better. I've been better.
Evidently.
Naren, have you put on weight?
Darren's asleep. Sleeping through this journey.
This guy's a straight savage.
I slapped.
Wake him
Naren
up,
awake.
wake him up. Naren, have you put on weight?
Listen up, you fat shit.
Answer when someone speaks to you.
What?
Have you put on weight? You're heavier.
How dare you? I've been eating less.
a question.
I've been off. I've been drinking way less rum. Thank you. My health is better than ever.
Doesn't feel like it.
And a lot of walks as well. 10,000 steps every day, getting I'll go for a nap.
Suppose you
Well, that's-
suppose you think it's all muscle, don't you?
You get absolutely fucking roasted by this bird.
Nice one, Wings.
So yeah, after about 2 hours or so, it wears thin pretty quickly. At one point he starts arguing with Nautilus.
Oh, no.
Go on, Jake.
It's probably to do with the Naren weight. And Nautilus is like, don't you speak to my seven like that. Well, I'll speak to whoever I want, and then start like. At one point, Nautilus starts going like, la 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 la, can't hear you, la 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 la, and it's
Good to know Nautilus is taking the high ground.
I forgot the fork was on the bird.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, don't you call him a fork?
I'm not a fork!
you're less
Stepping
than a
in now
fork.
to defend our siblings.
Oh, fork? He's Fury of the Waves.
You're less than a fork.
Better
You
than
don't
your
even have a
fucking
fork.
dull hammer, isn't it?
Forky.
Don't you talk. Don't you. You don't know. That's about fighting
I
craftsmanship.
feel bad for Lida.
She could be with
Lida's
us.
just minding
There's probably
her
sandwiched
business.
between them as well.
Poor
Oh,
Lida.
what's the riding order looking like here? Like,
Is
I don't
You're in the
understand
middle.
how-
Descending?
Oh,
I suppose it would be
Jesus.
descend, but like I feel like we're going to be at the front.
Mm.
So
Yep.
you know, that's like I
You're
don't know.
just squished in the middle.
Oh, I'm getting the middle seat. That's like the classic. Oh, you're
We
in the middle,
sweat.
you get in the middle.
Oh god.
True.
It's going to be pretty sweaty in the middle.
And you gotta actually shout at each other because the wind is so
Yeah.
fast. No,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
talking.
taking the sandwich, meaning that I don't have to hold on as tight because I'm sandwiched, so I can sleep safely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
Aaron
would
was
sleep at the back.
sleeping on the back.
I wouldn't sleep on the back. No. You can
At
just
some,
flip off.
at some point, Wings and Rurak are arguing with everyone, but they're arguing with just themselves. Like, they're not actually talking to everyone. Oh.
Yeah. So after about 2 hours of this, it's one of the worst travel experiences you've probably ever had, actually, because it's you're going to
For
combat it by
everyone,
being
or just for
hungry,
Lida?
sleep deprived, probably for most of you. You're hungry, sleep deprived. It's really noisy and cold as well. Lida, you got your staff as well. As you're like having to like kind of shield back from getting blown out and that's a pain. And you like there's a fire right next to your ear, and then there's a point where there's a point where a bit of Rurek's hair goes in. He doesn't notice, but it's not all there anymore.
Just gonna keep quiet about that.
I would smell burning.
I don't smell it. Somebody must be having a late night barbecue tonight.
Oh, okay.
Quite
Uh,
common on scale.
And then eventually,
Is that one right?
you can see below you, like this kind of campfire, like roughly where you guys spend a lot of time walking, so if you kind of know like Rick's on this far along, so then you probably have gone a bit this far, like roughly where you expect the caravan to have wound up. You can kind of see like campfires and kind of like smoldering and kind of like sort of like hastily pitched tents and stuff like that, kind of like parked in a circle down just slightly off the road below you. And it looks like it's your destination.
All right, Naren. I'll park you some way outside of the camp, and then it's down
Not
to
gonna drop in there.
if you want
Skydiving.
if you want it, we'll do it. But Lydia can maybe do invisibility or something if you want to sneak in. It's up to you. So you name the call.
Anything worse than traveling with the smelly dwarf? Is there anything worse than traveling with the smell? No, let's just sing.
Does Nautilus stuff? Oh, that is Nautilus. I
Yeah.
see.
Wings joins in on the choruses.
I thought that was
Bonding now, they're bonding.
They're both sick of being
They've
used.
gone from enemies to friends.
Frenemies.
Nautilus's first friend.
What about you?
I think you best get
Not
that fork
friends.
off of here.
You can hear you
If you
say
call him a
that.
fork one more time, I'll fling you off this bird.
You said you were friends with him.
What?
You just
What?
said you were
That's-
friends with him.
Land. No, with Nautilus? No. You kidding me? He calls me a servant all the time. He's a real bitch.
He probably
Just you watch it!
with friends.
Right, Jake, we're
Both
going
off
in
again
for-
and I'll cock you on.
Colleagues.
Colleagues.
Nautilus and I are just colleagues.
Is there a tree line nearby, Jake?
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Great, we'll land there.
sure. Yeah, you kind of swoop in. Yeah, much as they're kind of being arseholes on the way, they'll quieten down when it gets to go time. Kind of pull in silent and you land
Lighting.
among the trees. You're like, oh, the door's up there. You can kind of see it in the distance, or where it
Oh,
is.
I'll point it out and be like, hey, look, there's the door. Oh,
That's nice. Stay on mission, Rebecca. Come on now.
no. Well, you get on mission then. I've done my bit. Do you want anything from me? I can give you. Tell you what. Here's a little.
do you mean?
I'll give him an enhance ability on Dex.
Point to
Do you want
just slap.
your arse? Do you want dexterity or do you want charisma?
What do you use for stealth rolls?
Dex.
No, I'll take Dex.
All right, I'll give you.
You want to be invisible if you want to look different.
This is the thing. I think even invisible, I'm going to get heard.
Yeah, you're pretty clanky.
I'm not very stealthy.
You take off the armor.
Do I have my captain's telescope on me?
Oh yeah, probably, yeah.
Can I spy on the camp?
Yeah, you can see there's because it's quite late. It looks like it's just a couple of people on watch. There's like 3 or 4 of them sitting around a campfire. Do they have marshmallows? They might be toasting something. Just kind of sitting around.
Does it look like Mia has her own tent?
Yeah, there's quite
Up
a,
close
quite
to
a,
the
quite a
guards.
notable. Well, actually, we should even have a tent. There's a carriage you can see. It looks quite big and opulent. You're like you can probably sleep in there actually. It's like the carriage is here and the guards are here and you're kind of here. So like based on what Muir like pulled out of her office and what you saw of it, you kind of get the impression that she's probably a fairly kind of fancy person. So you don't see a tent that is notably more fancy than the others, but you see this big fancy carriage. And you can see there's a lantern like hanging like outside it, outside the door. And there's like you can see there's curtains on the inside that have been drawn.
Alright.
Let me change the tunes.
So how do I get into the caravan and not have her call for aid as soon as she sees me?
That's a good question.
Also, I might need you to come with me later so you can drop and raise invisibility so she's not just talking to a ghost.
Okay, I can do that.
Maybe a white flag. Little piece. Little.
Taking off my armor would make me stealthier.
It would, yeah.
It would stop the disadvantage.
It would.
I can give you a mithril breastplate. Would that be helpful for him, Jake? Because it's like, isn't that one like doesn't determine your dex?
It doesn't, but it's dwarf sized.
Okay, never mind. Use it as a shin guard. If you want.
I mean, Naren has you took the clothy, right?
Yeah.
So that like
So
you're
my natural
yeah, you got
armor
like
class is higher, yeah.
yeah, you're naturally tough.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna take off my armor and leave it next to wings.
Sure.
Because the aim of this is to not fight 20 guards.
Can I pack that all up, Jake?
Yeah,
And
sure. Yeah.
then I want to be on wings, ready to get them out if like it's an emergency.
Sure. Okay.
Just give me a sending stone if you need me. But if not, just make your way back here.
Okay. I guess we'll just. How do we wake her up without her screaming?
You could distract the
Stab her.
guards.
Knock her out. We could steal her. Go on, servant. Let's be dramatic.
What are the chances of just being able to knock her out safely in one swing
Uh,
while she's asleep?
I mean, like you're probably reasonably high. Like,
Yeah.
She's going to be less willing to speak to you if you clonk
That's
around the
true.
head.
Something I
There's,
could
like-
possibly do is we wake her up, and as soon as she wakes up, I can cast Modify Memory to make her think that she already got woken up and screamed already, and we told her not to scream, and now she's decided that being quiet is her best option. She's listening to us.
I like that plan. It's better than the knocking her out or any other plan we had. Also, does the camp like surround her carriage,
Yeah, probably.
or is her carriage like part of the perimeter?
No, there's an outer perimeter of kind of fairly standard issue with like they look like military tents, like they look very similar to the ones that your Legion have. There's kind of they kind of form a ring, and then there's like her carriages. So like it's kind of towards the edge, but it's not like fully.
Okay. I guess let's just go invisible and walk into the camp.
Okay. I cast invisibility. at
How
the
are we
level I
going
need
to
it.
stay together though when we can't see each other?
Well, I used to do it with Malbrim, but we just held hands, so
Oh, I have rope.
works for me, I guess.
Holding hands. Ew.
I just think with a rope, then we can have some freedom. We can still split apart, but then the rope will stop us from going too far.
I'm gonna be a toddler on a leash.
One of those strappy ones.
Invisible?
But also, I don't know if the rope goes invisible. Yeah.
If you're holding it when you cast a spell, it is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Floating around.
Can we enter the camp from the opposite side to the campfire where the guards are stationed?
Sure, yeah. So give us a stealth check.
Or
You're kind of gonna
you
have to
can
like
just-
skirt around the cars to get around that way. Does that make sense?
Or you can just carry me on your back because I don't really. There's nowhere I really want to go.
Sure, let's do that then.
What are we doing? We're doing stealth.
Hey.
Well,
Do we
does
get
not
advantage for being
automatically
invisible?
give me disadvantage.
Oh, it probably will.
That's my question.
Just roll a d20. But yeah, you get advantage
And
because
do we
of
get advantage?
I think you might be able to force it. If you click on.
You also have advantage from Cat's Grace, but you already have advantage,
Okay,
so
you got mega advantage. Okay, so
I
a
should've
strong
given
throwing
you-
from Lida already.
Hard to make sound when you're being carried.
That's true.
So a 14
nice.
Plus 1 is 15.
15. Okay. Sure. So there is. Yeah. There's. So you kind of start heading around the perimeter with Lida, and there's this kind of it goes mostly okay. There's a point where you're like where the guards are like, did you hear something? But you kind of freeze, and because you're invisible, like they eventually like you get the sensation that they're a bit more wary. Like they're kind of like before that point they're like they're drinking and chatting and not really watching that much really. But now after that you don't get spotted necessarily, but there are kind of a bit more like, well, that was a bit weird. Maybe it's maybe some kind of beast about it or something. Better keep an eye out, I suppose. And they kind of gear up a level in terms of like their kind of awareness and their perception and stuff. But you're able to kind of make it round to the other side of the camp without being spotted because you're invisible. No one seems to get any further made aware to your existence. And you're kind of able to get like you can see the caravans the carriage is a lot closer now. There's no door on this side. The door is on like the campfire side. I mean, there's a window on this side.
Does it look like a openable window?
No,
or
it
is
looks
it
like a fixed
just-
window, but you could bust it.
That doesn't seem very stealthy.
On the
Not
way
especially.
out, maybe.
I guess try and slip. Like, are they facing the door? They just got to see a door open.
When you first went round, they had their backs to the door. Now they're kind of like one of them is swiveled, so they're now kind of keeping an eye out and stuff. So one of them is facing towards the door.
Are they loose rocks on the floor? Small handheld
Yeah.
kind of.
You know, you're
stones?
in kind of like a kind of a hilly area, so there's plenty of rocks around.
Pick up a small. Is it gotta be a floating stone if I pick it up?
Yeah. But you're not currently in their island right now because you're kind of like around the back of the carriage. You can hear like you can hear people snoring in the tents around you. So, but none of them are obviously looking at you, and they're asleep. So.
Would there typically be an entrance to this type of carriage from above? Is that like a roof hatch or?
On some, but you're not sure on this one. You'd have to get up onto the roof to check.
How common are ferrets in scale?
Not especially common.
Is there a
Is
certain
there a
animal
ferret?
that looks like a ferret that could be seen on scale?
Yeah, there's kind of like a ferret-sized gecko that you kind of there's like fairly lizardy. There's like
Abby's not the scaliest.
It's dark.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
like Papu go and rummage around in the leaves a little bit
Sure, okay.
and try and gather some attention, I think.
Okay. Sure. So you send Pabu off, and he kind of pokes his head out and scratches along, and goes and he starts like kind of scratching trees and scruffling around, and you hear voices going, Naren, you understand it, like, hey, what's that over there? Like, hey, and you see one of them, the one that's facing the door, kind of stands up, and they all kind of like have their attention turned over there. One of them like has his hand on his sword. Looks like they're not currently looking at the door. It looks like one of them might go over there and kind of like do something. It's kind of difficult to say.
Take this opportunity to try and slip in through the door.
Sure. Okay. Give us a stealth check for opening the door sneakily.
Oh boy.
Hope you have advantage. Oh, but you're 19.
You do have advantage.
I'll do it just for the sake of it.
Yeah,
That's a non-natural 20 currently.
That's great.
Sure. So yeah, Naren and
21.
yeah. So you kind of Patrick goes over there and starts noising around, and they kind of get up and you watch them. And then one of them starts heading over there, and you kind of take the opportunity to sneak around the side, and you kind of ease. It's very beautifully made door, very silent. So you kind of ease it open and kind of shut it, and you're now in a carriage. You can see there is you are in like a square. There's another door kind of sort of to your left as you're kind of backing in, and you can also see there's a person in this like sitting on a stool with a sword like propped up between their legs, who is currently asleep with their head kind of rested against the pillow of the window. And there is this door that is slightly ajar, and you can see that there's like a bed in there. It's kind of, or something that looks like it. This person that is asleep in the stool looks very much like they're not Sule or Markex. They look like they're like a guard or something. But they are asleep.
Nice.
Okay, I guess try and. Guess we just go for the open door, right?
Yeah, but also I would well, once Papu's made the tension we've gone in, I would like Papu to start like running away and hopefully not get seen.
Sure, yeah. You can hear the guards outside going, "It's going over there. Do we chase it? I don't know. It might. No, I don't think it's coming back. Anyways, you can hear them kind of sit back down around the fire.
Yeah, I guess we just sneak past Igmard then.
Guess we try and enter the room and close the door behind us.
Sure. You can see it's not a very thick door. It's like almost just the kind of illusion of a door. But you kind of, and it does when you close it, it makes like this sound, and you hear the guard continues being asleep. You're in this chamber. It's basically just a bed. In here, kind of like it's kind of like attached to the back wall of the carriage, and you can see the big, beautiful silk bedspread and sheets, and there's this figure kind of like asleep, head on the pillow. Back to you.
Okay. I guess, do you want to drop the invisibility now and we just try for this?
Yeah. Modify memory, like the invisibility will go down when I cast modify memory anyway, because I can't cast spells so invisible. Jake, am I able to modify someone's memory while they're asleep to wake them up?
Dreams.
That is a good question.
Because it
Let me have a
says that, what does it say? The target becomes charmed by you. They are incapacitated and unaware of its surroundings.
It doesn't say they have to be conscious. So yeah, I think you
if
can do that.
I modified their memory that they already woke up and did that, and then they would end up woken up by the end of the spell, is that feasible?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You might have to make a roll for it to see how well you do on that, because it's kind of an unusual use of the spell. But I think so. The only thing is it has to be able to understand your language. You'd have to speak it in Draconic. Oh no, actually no, it's I'm talking us.
Be able to speak common?
Yeah, no, they totally would. I didn't think that one through. Yeah, no, you can try and do that while she's asleep.
What kind of check would it be to do that? Would it be an Arcana check?
Yeah, it would just be. I mean, effectively, yeah, it would just be a spell casting check that you're proficient with. Like, so be Arcana would be fine.
Okay, I'm just looking through all my spells, making sure I got everything. Because I said I could potentially give myself skill empowerment first. Oh wait, should I do that?
Everyone's just awkwardly standing in this room waiting for something to
No,
happen.
we're just going for modify memory. We're just going for modify memory. What do I do? What do I do? I roll a thing.
We want her to think that we don't mean her any harm
Yes.
and to stay quiet.
Okay, so I'm casting modify memory on it. So they have to make a wisdom saving throw. So do I have to do a check or anything?
Well, let's see how the saving throw goes first. That's going to take quite a lot.
Okay.
What's your DC?
What is my DC? Spell save DC is 18.
18. You get the sensation that the magic is taking hold.
Booyah! Okay, I will say that she is awoken by the two of us. She, of course, yells for her guards, but we stop her from yelling, and we inform her that we have put her guards under a great sleep. But we're not there to harm her in any way. And we're just here to have a discussion. And that she believes that her best course of action is to stay quiet and hear us out, and that she's safe.
Okay, give us an Arcana check.
So is it pitch black in this room?
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of
A
moonlight.
candle to light.
Yeah, there's a candle.
Uh.
Yeah, there's one nearby. So it's in that classic little like finger holy candle plate.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's not the best roll in the world, but you know. So.
Okay. 13. Right. So you kind of you have to kind of like you have to because she's asleep. You have to kind of like clamber on the bed and go and like whisper in her ear. And you kind of like back up off the bed, and she kind of rolls over and kind of sits up, looks at you, and then announces quite loudly, "Well, what is it? What is this all about then?" Meanwhile, back in the Tiamat temple, you guys are flipping through papers and stuff. Zarzan, what are you doing?
Zarzan was sleeping.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's reasonable actually. It's quite late.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Zarzan and Rafa gonna go do the
Yeah, I
Daisy
thought we
Harvey
were not there.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are doing?
Going to the valley.
Right.
I thought
Okay.
we were going to the valley so that Raffin could get a plant or something.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, if that's what you guys are doing, then you probably arrive at the valley around about now. And yeah, it's difficult. It takes you a minute to find it again, Zarzan, but because it's dark. But you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is the place, yeah. And you guys are able to find. Give us a nature check, Raffin.
Nature.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you find quite a nice, healthy tree. You're like, yeah, this is a good tree. You spend some time with it. You're like, yeah, I can work with this tree. It's a larger tree than most of the ones you normally go with. It's a huge tree instead of a large tree, so you can probably get a slightly wider portal through it. When you daisy highway to it. But yeah, you guys arrive in this little valley and have a poke around, explore, and you find a nice tree to be able to transport things to, and yeah. Yeah, by this point it's about like kind of midnight, 1 in the morning sort of a time. So what are you guys doing? Are you just heading back, or are you spending the night there? Or?
What do you want to do, Raffin?
Oh, I thought you were talking to all of us.
No, I was talking just to you two.
We could just
We
head
could-
back. Do we need to stay here?
Head back, we could test it out,
Yeah,
test out the land.
Have a sleepover?
that's true.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, we'll test it out and go back Daisy Highway style.
Okay, so you're gonna spend the night and go back tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in you and Zorgar, meanwhile, you're having a look over stuff.
over incriminating information.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not. I don't actually know. I'll let you know. Certainly, lots of numbers. You start adding up the kind of the value. You're like, I'm pretty sure I fucking swiped like a grand or two's worth of stuff off this lady.
Oh, yeah.
Nice one.
At one point, Gek kind of pads in, and he just kind of looks really expectantly at you both.
Give him a pat in the head.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, good, yeah. Balak says we going.
Going
Mhm.
where?
I don't going where?
Did Bailey tell you where we're going?
No, somewhere.
Well, you'll find out.
Okay. Does that mean I can bring my traps with me, or do they have to stay here?
Oh, you can bring your traps.
You bring your traps.
Okay.
Go-
Some
go
of them
fetch
are
your
in the
traps.
ground. I don't know if that. How do I bring the
well-
ground with me?
Go and dig them up. And
No,
bring
see, they holes in the ground. How do I bring a hole with me?
well, you could just fill it in, and then you can bring the hole with you.
Gek not understand.
Is it only a hole, or is it like a covered over?
No, covered over, yeah, with leaves and stuff.
Well, bring the branches and leaves and stuff you used then.
Okay. Okay. He runs away. Yeah, Naren and Lida, you're in the bedroom, and Solera kind of gets up and kind of groggily, sort of kind of like, it's almost like she's kind of mid conversation with you, like, well, yes, okay, what?
Can we whisper to Heska to quiet down a little while I light a candle?
Give us a persuasion check.
You should have absolutely taken
Well,
the charisma
I'm
buff.
not ending
Yeah.
it with that. I'm saying, could you please quiet down while lighting a candle and going on to explain who we are?
So, well, I mean, I don't understand why. She kind of quietens down a little bit.
I am Naren Markax. Hi, I believe I'm your cousin. Nice to finally meet you. This is Lida. She's a wizard.
She's
Okay.
not a dragonborn.
Very astute of you. We've just come to talk to you.
I'm trying to remember what. You see, she's still like half asleep. You hear the guard on the other side.
And then Aaron, what are we talking to her about?
Yes, Naren, what are we talking to her about?
How delirious is she?
She's quite.
It just
It's almost
woke
like
up
she's
in the
still
middle of the
partially
night.
asleep.
Okay. Just want to ask you a little bit about Valasar. Is he your favourite cousin? Because there's a bit more competition nowadays.
It's so weird.
I feel like this belongs in like a.
Who's your favorite cousin?
It's like she's having some weird psychedelic dream.
Am I your favorite cousin?
She kind of just like slumps forward.
Oh. No,
She's gone.
I shake her awake a little bit. Gently. Gently. Gently.
How's the shadows look from outside, Jake? Candle.
Yeah, you can see there's a shadow. You can How do the shadow? It's like the curtains are fairly the curtains don't really transmit shadow that much. They're kind of I don't know if, like you know how you get some cards that just don't really do it. Does that make sense? Like it's kind of like that. Like it's mostly just like you can see that there's a light on in there now, which is like you see none of the cards have noticed yet, but like you're not really like it's pretty noticeable that there's a light on in there. But it might also be it's not like totally unrealistic that she might have just it's not like super weird, but yeah, it's definitely obvious outside that there's something happening in there.
That's probably a good sign.
Yeah. She kind of comes to a bit more.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Valasar? And do you know who I am?
You're You're my cousin, but I don't know if you're my favorite.
She's honest.
It's fair enough. We just met.
What was the purpose of this now?
I just want to talk to. I've met very little of my family. All right. I wanna...
Nice to meet you. Absolutely right.
I'll shake her hand. Do you know why we're here? Has Valasar told you anything?
No. Who are you?
Maybe the thing didn't work the best.
I think you might have overdone it a bit later. I'm Nara Markax. You know,
My cousin.
Van Markax. Yeah. Son of
Favorite
or
cousin.
Brother of. Brother.
No.
Yes.
Em?
Yes.
We just met.
Yeah, but it can be both. But
What was the other side?
Gently
Okay.
pat her shoulder again.
I guess she's kind of untalkable to this. Is there like a quill about? Quill and paper?
Yeah, there's a kind of there's one of those fancy folding desks like you have in the corner. And there's a quill on the top.
I guess I'll just start writing her a letter, seeing as she's not in a state to really talk right now.
Sure.
What is it you want to say to her anyway?
Figuring that out as I'm writing.
We never think of things before we do them, do we?
It's worked for us.
You on the time crunch? I'm improvising.
I want to go to bed now.
I want to go to bed. I'm in bed. Why am I in bed? What's going on?
I guess Naren has just got to write a letter introducing himself and Zorga, who isn't here, and then go on to continue to say why they're there.
Sure.
And then, kind of instill that they don't mean scale or her any harm. Maybe leave a wee PS for when she shows this to Valasar.
Sure, okay.
Leave a wee PS when you read this, Valasar. I'll see you soon. Then,
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you're give us a. Just roll a d20. Okay. So you kind of you start scratching your letter, and she's like, "Hey, this is my. You're writing in my." She claps his farting in. You continuing to write. You're still. Hey, wait! Ah! You can hear the. What? You're about kind of. You're getting to the PS of your letter there, and she kind
just gonna quickly scratch out the PS.
There's a knock at the door and says, "But, Leslie, you all right? Sorry, I dozed off there." No, there's. It's just my cousin. Miss, you all right?
Harry makes snoring noises.
How good is?
She's like out like a light.
How good is Naren's impersonation of other people? How good is Naren at impersonations?
I mean, how good are you at performance? Or deception? Or both?
I've heard her sleeping noises so far, right? Did I hear any snores?
From?
The lady?
No, she's not a snorer. Doesn't sound like.
But is there any, like, sleep noises in general she
Yeah,
usually make?
Yeah, you heard about that.
Is
Because minor illusion song.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
can I quickly ask, is the window we saw from the outside in this room?
There's a window at the back, there's kind of, you saw like a side window which was in the room of the guard, but there is another window here. You kind of have to like clamber on the bed to get out of it, and you probably have to smash it.
It's fine.
But
See how the snoring goes first.
yeah, let it create some insight. All right, ma'am. I'll just keep an eye out.
Okay.
Okay. You ready to go? Are we going? I don't know if we can
Yeah,
talk to this lady.
Can I just leave the letter on the desk?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Guess I'll put it in. Do I need to put it in an envelope?
Oh, she's got envelopes, yeah.
I'll put it in an envelope.
She's even got like stamping supplies. Doesn't have any, but you know you can wax seal it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wax seal it.
Okay, yeah.
You did light a candle.
With
Get
so-
the
her own
candle.
stamps.
Pour it on and it's sealed, and you're like, okay. Rurik, you can see that one of the guards is like kind of like standing up. It's been about a minute or two. He kind of stands up and kind of goes over to the door to the carriage, and looks like he's about to knock.
Can I cast Gust of Wind?
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
Just a bit away from the camp where there's going to be like a lot of leaves and stuff. Just making a bit of noise and wind, and then me and Wings will kind of go deeper into the forest line so they can't see us.
Sure, okay, yeah.
But make a bit of a distraction.
Yeah, he wheels her in. What the? The weather's did something weird, isn't it? Well, this is all in Draconic, so I actually really can't understand it. But you guys can hear the guards outside going like, "Oh no, it's weird, isn't it? What's going on? Maybe it must have disturbed her or something." You know, they just come.
Oh, that rolls for. Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah, but Naren, you kind of seal your letter, and you're like kind of. You can everything seems to be sort of all right. You've left your letter and stuff.
I guess let's go invisible again and sneak out the same way we came in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I cast invisibility on the two of us.
Sure, you guys vanish.
Climb up on Naren's back.
Sure. Yeah, it's a little cramped in here, but you're.
Probably get my foot in his mouth at some point, trying to get in. Because I don't know where anything is, because everything's invisible.
Yeah, you mount up, and you're ready to kind of make a break for it. So you're just going out the way you came in.
But yeah.
All right, give us a stealth check.
Oh, do I get advantage? Yeah.
Yeah, because you're invisible.
Okay, 11.
11.
Wreck is ready to go.
Wait, do I need to do a thingy check?
I mean, give us a stealth check, and we'll kind of tie in with Naren's, kind of like boost him a bit. 20 plus an 11. Okay, yeah. So you kind of ease the door, but it goes, and the guard kind of like, what? Is everything all right, ma'am? And then the wind outside picks up you, and the door, the main door to the carriage, like slams open.
Oh, there, go.
With the wind.
And you're able to kind of like, what's going on? He kind of yanks the door you just came through, shut. You just have like almost like kind of like just the way you came out, like near, like reaches like almost skims lit his ear as you're kind of hunched your way, crouching your way out. He kind of reaches in, shuts that door, and kind of stands up, and he starts moving to go and shut the main door that just got blown over. And you guys just making a break for it?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah, you're Naren. You can probably just. You kind of manage to make it just in time. Later, you kind of bonk your head on the way out a little bit, and you can see it's really windy out here now, for like absolutely no reason. The guards are like, "What the? I don't know." One of them's like, "It's that weasel! It's a ghost weasel!" And it starts to, the wind is kind of like vibrating underneath the carriage and making this kind of weird like wailing noise. But you can see Rurik is not where he was when you left him.
When is he ever?
Just head for where we last.
Yeah, I'll get Pappy to make his way back to us as well.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to find each other. He's not that far away. You'll be able to find each other relatively easily. Kind of meet up again. Rurik, you can kind of hear like padding noises through, but nothing is accompanied by them.
How'd it go?
Weird.
Not bad, but not great.
All right. Well, it didn't go awful. So that
we didn't get found out. So that's at least one thing. Naren left her a letter.
Right. Before we go, I wanna. Oh, you left a letter. Cool. Is it a good letter?
I don't know. I didn't see what you wrote.
All right. You say so. I want you to see this door. I want you to tell me what's up with this door.
I'll have a look at the door. The door looks interesting.
Sure.
Or sounds interesting. I haven't seen it.
Okay, you guys head up to the door. It's not that far away. You can see it's this big, massive slab. It's like 12 to 15 feet tall. Not really that clear on it. Perfectly like wrought into the side of this mountain. Has lots of extremely worn imagery on it. It looks like to us, it would probably look like something from like the Roman period or something like that, like ancient stonework. Like that's how like worn the symbology is on it and stuff. But you can, if you give us history checks.
Story.
All three of us?
Yeah. I mean, Rurik's already been here, but like,
I got
little bit of time.
knowledge from Sora to kind of look at it.
That's true. Yeah. You've had a bit of time away, and refactored, rejiggled stuff in your brain case.
Plus 10 is 18.
18. Okay.
And Aaron's 19.
15, 19, 19. Okay, I'll give you some information. You probably don't like put this together like immediately, but like after because you're quite tired at this point as well. But like if you're heading back to camp at this point, like you'll kind of wake up and like have some kind of fresh realizations about what it might be.
Cool.
But otherwise, are you just heading home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So you guys fly back and you kind of get in at like 3-4 a.m. Like it's quite late. How long are Zorgar and Muir staying up for?
What time did we get back?
About 10ish.
Yeah, so about 1. Get some sleep.
Okay, yeah. So you guys arrive back. There's just people on watch. Kind of, they give a. You guys probably have like a traditional salute they give, like a. Or something, I don't know. Yeah, they have a salute. And they kind of salute Naren and you guys as you arrive back. But I take it you're just going to bed? Is there anything else you want to do?
Can I grab a fish for wings?
Sure, yeah.
It's a good stealth mission. Throw him a fish. Nice. All right.
Thank you.
That's all right. All right. Good night. Good night, wings.
Good night.
And then head to bed.
I love you.
I know.
What are you talking about?
I love you too.
Sure. Okay. So that seems like a pretty reasonable place to leave things. We'll pick up in 2 weeks. So let me change the tunes back of Fulgrim. So yeah, Naren, if you send me the letter you leave with Sulira, that'd be useful. And then what is your plan next session when we pick things up again?
Start moving the troops.
Okay, cool.
Go investigate Gooni's cave and also maybe speak to House Orlan.
Sure, alrighty. Cool. All right. Well, I will turn the stream off. So if you enjoyed the stream, we'll be back on the 25th, I think. Something like that. Yeah, that sounds right. So see you then.